welcome to episode 468 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for September 7th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Not much, man. Yeah, we're deep. Well, I said deep, but hey, we're in September, man. Now we're getting close. Man,
it's almost the end already.
I know. Only 4 more months, man. We're in the last quarter, basically. The last quarter of the year, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how it just doesn't feel that long ago, man. It was just early in the year. It doesn't feel that long ago when summer just started, and I was already bitching. I was already bitching about how I'm going to be hot and sweaty. Yep. And now it's over, and I'm like, hey, I made it through another summer, man. And hopefully this next summer won't ever exist. Like, it'll just be spring for 6 months. It'll be spring for 6 months. I'm hoping that happens one day.
There you go.
Hope one year, one of these years, it will happen. I mean, it'll be bad because people will be saying like, "Oh my God, climate change. This is bad." But I'll be happy and say, "Oh, this is a good climate change. This is good." Yeah, man, it's been an all right week. I mean, like for gaming, it's not a ton of news or anything, but I mean, games have come out. Some big games have released, so or early releases as we do now. They have now, yeah. So we can get right into it. Sports, man, is in full swing. This is like one of the best times of the year in sports. I mean, I mentioned this before. You got football and collegiate football, professional football. You got baseball is coming to the end, to the playoffs. You also have school started, so now you got your school sports, man. You definitely into that, you know, man. I mean, so yeah, man. It's a great time. It's just like a great time, like year for sports, and like man, we're really coming to it, to the end for baseball. We got few more games left. We got like I don't know exactly the amount. I know it's gotta be like less than 20, right? So like the O's are tied for first. Well, actually no, they are in first place. Maybe I know they're above the Yankees by 0.5, but I don't think anybody else has a better record in the American League right now. But they're not that far ahead. But they're technically they are in first place. Yeah, I'm guessing unless the Twins is record I don't know about, man. Because I know it's not the Twins. Nope. So yes, Orioles are in first place in the American League as of this podcast right now. Barely. I mean, it's only 0.5, but half a game. But hey, you know, hopefully they can keep this league going. Because I want to win a division. I mean, even though I know there's people arguing that, hey, man, the wild card teams have been winning. Some years, even though Houston won 2 years ago. But, so, I mean, it's not enough data to me to even say one way or the other if this is a bad thing to have a bye. I just feel like, for me, I just think things happen. I don't think it's like an advantage one way or the other. But like someone said, they will always want the bye. Because they say like, look, man, you might got some injuries or something. You want people to be rested or the pitchers to be rested or something like that. You had a long-ass season. You want the rest. Now, if it happens that the wild card team wins, I think it just happens. I don't think it's I don't think it's like because they got the early game. I just think baseball sometimes some teams get hot. Some teams get hot and they just can win. So they don't. But like I said, Houston had a bye 2 years ago and they won the championship. Last year Texas won, they were a wild card. I mean, that's only 2 seasons since the playoff of this format has happened. 2 or 3 years, 3 years maybe. So it's it's not enough really data to even say one way or the other with that. So I'm still going to root for a division win. Like I'm going to root for winning the division. But if we don't, I mean, just hope we can just be one of those wildcard teams that take it. Is anything else? Oh, baseball. I know we had some injuries, but we had some other injuries that happened. Like Urias got hurt. That's not good. But we did have people come back. Well, a person came back. A pitcher who got hurt. He got hit in the arm, man. He got a big knot. But he came back and then he pitched almost a no-hitter.
Oh, wow.
He pitched a no-hitter till the seventh inning. He gave up 3 hits, but we got out of it and we ended up winning 2-zip in the game. So he was great, even though our bats are still not consistent to the point of like just scoring, man. Like, yeah, we put up runs against the White Sox, who are the worst team. Probably, like people are saying, in baseball history, like the worst team, like for a season. But we didn't win the last game. We only put like 2 runs, and then this game we only put 2 runs too. But luckily, our pitching was good. It's like, man, I wish we can. Our offense. I mean, we're like number 2 in home runs. And I forgot where we were actually ranking scoring, but we're up there. It was like, darn, why we're just not consistent at scoring. I just hope we can get there. I know Adley Rutschman has been really struggling. But yeah, but you know what? I will say this about, like, I was hearing people keep talking about like the White Sox being the worst team. Like in the season, but I was like, okay, let me look at the Orioles teams for the last few years. And yes, they are worse than what the Orioles did for those seasons. Like as of right now, they look really, really, really bad. But until they go like 3 seasons straight of losing 100 games, that I'm not saying anything, because if they come out next year being at least average or something, or even they're not that good, but they don't lose 100 games or something, I still think we're worse, because I'm like, we went 3 seasons losing 100. Listen, it would have been 4. Listen, it could have been, technically it wasn't 3 straight. I don't count COVID year. That's why. So that's why I say it's 3 straight. So if COVID didn't happen, it could have been 4 straight years, 100 games. We could have lost. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, that is horrible. Like, yeah, so what? They have the worst season this year. Okay, fine. I'll wait until another 2 years. If they lose 100 games the next 2 years, then you can say that. You can say, okay, yes, y'all were really, really horrible. But man, we were bad, man. I mean, we were bad, and like that's why I'm not even saying anything about that team. I'm saying, yeah, they did us bad now, but I've seen us these last few years was like the worst Orioles teams I ever seen in my life, and I thought we couldn't get worse than that. But then again, see, I'm like, that's when I realized, like, man, you know what? I probably didn't have it that bad, even though we haven't won a World Series since '83. Like, our bad teams before 2016 we were just always in the middle of the pack. Bad. Like we weren't good, but we weren't horrible, So because we was kind of like always like either in 3rd or 4th place. We wouldn't be in last place, because Tampa Bay would be last place, or Toronto, or whatever. But Tampa Bay started being good. Like, this is going to be like the first year in a while since Tampa Bay probably won't make the playoffs. They went to playoffs 5 years straight. They used to be like, yeah, because they used to be the worst team, and then we started being bad, and but still we weren't like bad. We weren't like the worst. But now those years after 2016, between 2016 and 2022, man, we were just like we were just horrible, and like I was like, darn, I guess like I'm thinking like we were really bad before, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, we were only bad because I'm comparing it to like 95 and 96 team and stuff like that. But we weren't like horrible. We just couldn't compete against the Yankees and the Red Sox. Like, we couldn't compete against those teams. But we still won like 70 something games sometimes, or 60 something. Like our worst would be around the 60s. But we won't lose those 100 games. We won't lose no 100 games or nothing like that. We weren't even close to that. But now, God darn, like, I don't want to see that again. Like, like, I don't want to have those years happen again.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, football has started. Now, as of today, it's Saturday, so it's not professional football. We haven't had the Sunday weekend, but we had 2 games already. We had the Ravens versus Kansas City. Ravens lost.
Rough.
It was disappointing. Both teams didn't look that great because, hey, people are always rusty first week because people don't really play during the preseason. I know Ravens didn't play none of their starters. I don't know what Kansas City did during the preseason, but I know the Ravens didn't play none of their starters. So, of course, they looked that great. And it was like, yeah, you kind of expect it. I mean, they almost won, but like that's what people are saying. It's like, hey, they even though they played bad, they almost won. But I was like, Kansas City didn't play that great either, though. So if both I don't know if both teams were like they were fully in sync or whatever. Like say this game happened in the middle of the season, who would win? I don't know because both teams didn't look particularly great out there. But Kansas City came out with the win, and Lamar Jackson missed some passes. Man, it's just like the same story. And like, I mean, they got Derrick Henry, who's the like one of the best running backs. But like someone said, it's like that was never their problem. With running the ball was never their problem. So they got another running back who's really really good. He's great, but it's like you were only one game away from the Super Bowl last year. Like, and the running game wasn't your problem.
Yeah.
The problem was you didn't run the ball. That's what it was. That was the problem last year. They didn't run the ball in that game. So So Lamar, there was some, but like I said, they're probably not totally in sync. He'll probably be better as the season go on. I hope he is. Because even though they're not my favorite team, I'm rooting for him. I know we're playing tomorrow, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I have been so out of loop in football. Like, I don't even know what the fucking schedule was. Like, I didn't even know they were playing Brazil yesterday on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, because I was thinking in Philadelphia, I was like, damn, this stadium is big. I said, I don't remember Philly Stadium looking like this. I said, damn, they got like a roof something. So what the hell's going on here? Then I saw like they're in Brazil, and I was like, holy shit! Oh, damn, they got a Brazil game on a Friday. I said, okay. And I heard Philly won. I heard that was a really good game.
Oh, was it? The first half was sloppy. That's all I saw.
But they scored. They scored more than what the Ravens did, and then the Ravens and whatchamacallit. I think they almost scored more than them in the first half than they did in the Ravens and whatchamacallit whole game.
Yeah.
It was sloppy. I mean, yes, the guy he thrown the ball and stuff, and but Green Bay didn't kick they just kept kicking field goals.
Yeah.
They didn't take advantage. They should have just got one touchdown out of those two those two turnovers in the beginning. I mean, yeah, but like I said, it's the first week, and a lot of these guys probably didn't play a whole lot of preseason games, so everybody's trying to get in sync. So that's just to be expected. At least I'm just happy they scored. That's the thing. Like, I see some points up, even though they probably doesn't. They scored. They got touchdowns. So I was like, okay, that's more. Yeah, I mean, at least it makes them look good. And second half, I heard it was pretty good. I had stopped watching then. Yeah, I'm just not. I don't know, man. I just didn't have that feeling like I just want to watch some football.
Yeah, I
really didn't. I want to see my team. I want to see my team, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I know my sports. Like, I'm just not into sports like that. Like, I'm in right now. Like with baseball. I'm into baseball because I like baseball this time of year. I'm not really into that. Maybe in football I'll get there. And if my team is good, I think that's what it is. If my team is good, I can watch everybody else.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I'll see the Commanders are good this year. Then I can probably watch other teams and just care about the season. Because my Commanders are bad. I just don't want to see anymore. Because I already know. That's how I feel. I already know what's going to happen. I feel like I ain't saying Kansas City going to win, but they're going to be there. You know, yeah. I just feel like that's the story, man. I just feel like that's the narrative that's going to be it. It's just like how good Patrick Mahomes is going to be, and the problem with that is like I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes at all, like or the Chiefs or anything. What pissed me off is that they didn't beat Tom Brady when they had a chance. so it's always going to be that hey, y'all lost to Tom Brady, y'all lost to old ass Tom Brady to Tampa Bay that year. And I mean, there are excuses. I guess they were injured and shit. But it's like, yeah, y'all just had to get injured at this point in time, huh? You had to be just all fucked up and everything, and make Tom Brady and them look great, and he won MVP and shit when he probably shouldn't have because it should have been in defense. But you can't give one defensive player one Super Bowl MVP, so you gotta get your quarterback. But yeah, so it's like y'all disappointed me. So I don't care. Y'all can have all the competition y'all want to say, like, oh, he's the greatest quarterback. Nope. I don't think so. Because he didn't beat Tom Brady when Tom Brady was old as hell. And they were a great team. So I was like, you didn't do what I really wanted you to do. I wanted that to be your start off. Like, yeah, beat him and say, like, yeah, I'm captain now. I'm the captain now. But nope. Tom Brady still beat you. And he has that. So he has that all his legacy. And then I got to see him be a commentator and shit. And gotta keep seeing him probably have some rings on or something and talk about shit. Oh, yeah, God damn it. all because you didn't beat him. But anyway, but yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do an early prediction. I'm gonna do an early prediction of what's gonna be a Super Bowl. I'm just gonna pull it out my ass. Super Bowl is gonna be. I'm gonna say Kansas City is gonna go again. They're not gonna win this time. They're gonna lose against. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a team, Daniel. I'm trying to pull it out my ass. Who on the NFC could go? I'm gonna say Philly. Philly gonna play Kansas City again. They gonna win.
All the Kelsey brothers reunited.
No, he's retired.
Oh yeah, he's retired, isn't he? No wonder he's doing so many commercials.
Yeah. I would say Philly and Kansas City again. Or if it's not that, it's going to be the. I think of another team in the AFC that I think would go. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna say the Browns, not the Browns. Cincinnati? No, not Cincinnati. I really don't know that. Give me a team. Come on, it's gotta be somebody.
The Lions.
The Bills. You said the Lions. The Lions. Yes, the Lions will go for NFC, but I'm trying to think of the AFC.
Oh, AFC. Sorry.
Yeah, I do that. I'll say that the Lions versus it'll be the Lions either versus Kansas City or the Lions versus the I'm trying to think of another team, but the Jaguars or something. I don't know.
The Jaguars.
I mean, I don't. They were good 2 years ago. I forgot what they did last year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think what they did last year because I think they started out. I think because they had some injuries early and that's what kind of hurt them. Yeah. Or I'll say the Miami Dolphins or something like that. I'm just putting teams. I'm saying it's gonna be okay. My second team will be It'll be the Lions. I think the Lions will either go for NFC. It's between the Lions and you know what? That's what's gonna be. Lions versus Kansas City. That's my main game. Or it's gonna be the Jaguars and the what's the team I said I was going to beat? And the Philadelphia. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. All right. So yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got. So, any big wrestling news? Oh yeah, the pay-per-view, right?
They had the Bash in Berlin and then the NXT pay-per-view last weekend. Both of them were a lot of fun from what I was able to see. I probably saw 3/4 of each of them. A lot of fun matches, but nothing really worth getting too into. AEW has their pay-per-view this week. You know, it was them and then WWE and then them again. So this one is All Out, and kind of the biggest match is actually not the title match in this one. It's actually going to be Hangman versus Swerve in a unsanctioned cage match because Hangman Adam Page just burned down Swerve's childhood home. So there's been a there's been a very long rivalry between them. At some point, Swerve when he was still a heel.
Are the police involved in this? What's going on here?
Tony Khan is apparently trying to keep Hangman out of jail so they can have this match. So it all kind of started when Swerve was still a bad guy and he'd snuck into Hangman's house and basically threatened his child, who was a baby in a crib at that time. And then over the course of the past year or so, Swerve has turned face. He's won the championship, and Hangman has just went down this like spiral of being out of control. And the interesting thing is, like, despite the fact that he is like absolutely insane at this point. Like, nothing he's saying is like wrong necessarily. He's just like, he's angry that, you know, this guy was awful to him and his family, and then everybody just embraced him as far as like the fans go, and they were happy to see him as champion. And he just wants to basically take everything away from him. So the other day, AEW before Dynamite posted a video of Swerve talking about how he just signed his new contract, and with that money, he bought his childhood home. It has a lot of memories and all this stuff. And like everybody on Twitter is just like, oh, that man's gonna burn this house down. And then sure enough, on Dynamite, that is exactly what happened. Hangman burned the house down. So
everybody knew this was going to happen.
Everybody knew it was going to happen. Nobody stopped them.
And just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Y'all all complicit. You're all complicit in this.
So, like, the level of violence expected during this match, I don't know, is just, it's going to be ridiculous. Like, the last big match that they had was a Texas Death match, and it was literally Hangman drinking the blood pouring out of Swerve's head. So I don't know exactly how you escalate from that, but I have a feeling it's going to be real bad tonight. I think it's tonight. I can't remember if it's tonight or tomorrow. I want to say it's tonight though. Yeah, so it's tonight. So that should be very interesting. It was just a steel cage match, and now it's an unsanctioned steel cage match, which basically doesn't really change much of anything outside of the fact that it doesn't count towards their win-loss record, which AEW sort of takes somewhat seriously. But it should be interesting, if nothing else. So there are a lot of other matches on this card that look really good, but don't feel like they've kind of been given the time to breathe. So it's not like a real big deal about a lot of them, especially just because we're coming off of that Wembley show just 2 weeks ago. So like you also have Jack Perry versus Bryan Danielson, which, you know, this is going to be Danielson's first defense after winning the title 2 weeks ago. And, you know, it's Jack Perry. He's part of the new elite with the Young Bucks and Okada, but he's still not quite there. Like nobody expects him to win there or anything. Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. Shida is awesome. So is Mercedes Moné, but like it's a given that, you know, this is just going to be a title defense for Moné. So yeah, that should be a good card though. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of this pay-per-view. So that's all wrestling. Right.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So I guess we get into what we were watching. So what you been watching, man?
You had mentioned it last week. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or off the podcast when we were just talking, but The Hitman or Hitman is a movie on Netflix starring Glenn Powell, the kind of young hotshot from the Top Gun Maverick movie. He seems to be, you know, one of the new Hollywood guys.
And he was on that movie with that who's that beautiful young hot chick now? That's like the talk of Hollywood now.
Oh, the one from the HBO show?
Yeah. The first season of that.
Yeah. I can't remember what movie that was.
But I kept seeing that movie advertised, and it didn't get great reviews.
Anyone But You?
Yeah, Anyone But You, yeah.
Sydney Sweeney, yes.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, yeah. She's like the biggest thing out there.
Oh, that's also on Netflix, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't see like great reviews for that.
Yeah.
But I think it's really still popular among people because of those two actors.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they are, like you said, two of the biggest at the moment. But this is basically the premise is Glenn Powell plays a professor, and he does like side work for the police. And one time when he's helping out the guy who plays the fake hitman, the guy that goes in and talks to these people, these suspects, you know, something goes wrong and he can't do the job, so they switch him in for him. Turns out Glenn Powell's character is very good at pretending to be a hitman. So he kind of becomes the permanent guy while the other guy's on suspension. Ends up, meeting a female client who he's interested in, and kind of tries to divert her from falling for the trap, basically, and then it goes from there. It's kind of a romantic comedy. There's quite a bit of humor there. And for the most part, it's pretty lighthearted, despite some of the subject matter. And it definitely goes some places. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun watch. And probably one of the better things I've seen come out of the Netflix, churn. So yeah, if you got Netflix, I'd say it's worth checking out. It is rated R. There's some pretty crude humor in there. Some pretty, like, not even quite Skinamax level sex scenes, but there's some stuff in there. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, that's the only thing worth talking about that I've been watching. Anything for you, Dominic?
I can't. Yeah, I don't think I watched anything. No. Oh yeah, well, I did watch an anime, Gundam Origin, which is like it's a prequel to the first Gundam show that came out in the 80s on the and it really talks about how Char, he was like the main villain of that show, how he came to be, what he is, and how, and I was reading about that because I was just looking at like Gundam stuff, and because I was looking at Dynasty Warrior stuff, and I saw Gundam. No, actually, I think I saw Gundam Breaker had just came out or something, and I was just that has got Gundam on my mind. I was like, oh, what? I never did watch any really of these other Gundam shows. I think I tried to watch one and I didn't really like it. And I was watching Gundam Wing, some years ago again, and I realized, like, man, this is not as good as I really thought it was. Like, the main thing is, it starts out good. It starts out interesting. But then it's just the story and the dialogue just like is like really hit and a lot of misses. It's either hit or it misses, and it misses a lot. So I think as it goes on, as long as the show goes on, it gets worse to me. But I was looking at saying, like, what's the ranking of all these Gundams? Like, what's the good Gundam show to watch? And somebody had this Origins, and I was like, this is really good. And I started watching it. It's actually a good show. I was like, wow, this is really good. Because it's more modern. It's like I forgot what year it came out. I think it came out in the 2010s or sometime. But yeah, it's based on the prequel of the one that came in the 80s, but it's more modern, and yeah, it's really good. It's got some things that I don't like. It feels like something that happens in anime. Like it was a part where the guy who plays Char, like, he actually stole that name. That's not really his real name, because his real name, he's actually someone of note, and he's in hiding. And thing is, some people they still found him in with his other fake name, but he met this guy whose name is Char. So the way he stole his identity is that because they look alike, and except for the eyes, the eye color is different. And here's the thing I had a problem is that they look just alike. I was like, come on, man, that's just too weird. Like, this person who's not related to him looks just like him, and the only difference is their eye color, and they're not related. Like, at first I was thinking, like, oh, maybe it's something like he's a relative or something. But no, they're not related. So the whole thing is, when the guy, they were going someplace, because that guy was going to the military, and he was going, I forgot where he was going. I think he was going somewhere else. So they, I think they were going to the same place. They were going to the same planet, but he was going to the military. And he stuck a gun to that guy's suitcase. So when he went to the checkout, they were like, "Oh, you have a gun or something." So then he told the guy, "Hey, we'll be right back. We gotta go to the bathroom." Which, that's another thing I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, you're checking this guy. Well, I guess he was checking. He said this gun's not regulation. It's not regulation to be taken. And so it wasn't like a crime or nothing. It's just like you're not allowed to take this. It was like an old gun. It was like an old Western gun or something. So it's like antique for this time. He told me the back to say, hey, the guy said, I can't go. They're not gonna let me in the. He said, I can't let this happen. I can't get in trouble for this. And blah blah blah. I say, hey, I'll switch with you, and I'll just you'll just take my name and it won't be on your record or whatever. He said, okay, thank you, and blah blah blah. So then the person who was trying to kill him, they think, it's him. That space shuttle blows up, that he was on. He was going to, they weren't going to, I guess they weren't going to the same planet. They were going to a different planet or whatever. His space shuttle blows up while, no, my fault. They are going to the same planet. He misses flight, because he had to stay back because of the gun. So the guy who's going to become Char stayed back with the officer or whatever, while the other guy got to get on the flight. It blew up. So they think he's dead. They think so now. Everybody thinks like the guy's dead. While he takes the place of Char. So that's how he keeps that name. That name just stays with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that's the only problem I have is that like having a person that looks exactly like him. I wish there was a better way they could have done this. But this is it. You're supposed to suspend belief and just like, oh yeah, this could happen. I'm like, come on, man. Look, he said no. I mean, I don't know. They should have made some kind of way where, like, yes, he took somebody's identity, but that's because the people didn't know what they look like.
Right.
That's it. Not that it's like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. I thought it was pretty dumb, but overall, everything else so far that I watched has been pretty good. I mean, the guy is like he's trying to get revenge for what happened to his family, and he is like so stuck on revenge. Like he'll screw over anybody. Like he will. Like he's just so focused on that nothing else matters to him. Nothing else matters, and like you really see it. And I mean it's a really good show. Like I really like it. I was like, oh wow, this is I mean I wonder if like, and then I did see there were some other Gundam shows that were rated pretty high up there, and maybe I might check them out. They see if they are okay. But so that's all I really watched. I mean, that's worth mentioning that I watched this weekend. All right, so I guess we get into what we're playing. So I'll start while you because you got the big game.
Okay.
So I downloaded a PS2 emulator. And I own these games, so I don't even know the legal stuff behind this stuff, so I don't even care. I downloaded,
but you definitely own these games, regardless of that fact.
A PS2 emulator, and because I wanted to play Beautiful Joe, and since they seem like they're not putting Beautiful Joe, like any type
and
of
you decided
enhanced
against
version,
the superior GameCube version, huh?
That's what somebody said, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really see a difference. Somebody said like, I think somebody on the board said, it's like either the FPS or something, or process something like, it's not as good as the other version emulator. But when I played of it, it ran all right. So I was like, I don't know this guy. I mean, it's nothing I don't notice, so I don't care, and I'm not trying to download another emulator anyway. Kind of feel like going through that, so I was like, I'm just gonna play this game,
especially a Nintendo one.
Yeah,
they'll come after you.
So I did that. I didn't really play a lot of Beautiful Joe. I just started just to see if it worked. So I just got to the beginning portion, where you're still just a normal human, just got sucked into the damn movie. But then I was thinking about how we talked about Dynasty Warriors last week. I think it was like 4 or something came out. And actually, I don't know what we talked about. I think I saw it released. But I was reading how people were saying 5 was the best. Like, even like now, like 5 is the best one. And I don't remember playing 5. I know I played 2, 3, and I think there was another version of 3. I don't know what was it called, but I played that one, like the extra. I don't know if they call it extra large then though. well, Extreme Legends. It's just XL. So I said, actually, maybe it was called XL, and I call it extra large. And but I think I played 4. I think I did play 4. But 5, I don't remember playing. And like 5, 6, and 7. I think maybe I played 6. Maybe it was a demo or something, or wherever the first 360 one was. I think that's the one I did try to play. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I was like, okay, let me go download 5 to see what people are talking about. And first thing I noticed is that, like, yeah, this is back in the time when these games were still dubbed, and which I'm very happy about dubbed. I'm not the kind of guy who cares about subtitles, even in anime. I don't like the whole thing of like, oh, it being better. I feel like if you got to read and watch at the same time, it's just not. Like someone said, if I wanted to read, I'll read the manga. I mean that's the point. The stuff is for watching. I like that. It's like, oh yeah, going back to the times. And also the story does seem to be a little more. This is a bit better. Like than what I played in 8. I think 8 mostly more focused on the gameplay than the actual story. And mainly, I don't know for the reasons, but I can say that maybe because the story, unless you're changing stuff, you already know it. Because it's it's based on history. Loosely based on history, about the dynasties and stuff like that in China. After the Han Dynasty, I believe. But it's just the way, like, how they do the cutscenes and the story, even during the game as you play, is really how well it's changed through the years. And like this just seems to be, it seems really good. And I was like, oh yeah, I missed this, like how they had these cutscenes in there where the characters interact and do things and stuff. Gameplay wise, I can see how the gameplay has changed a lot. Like in this, you can't just call your horse. That wasn't the thing yet. Like you can get on a horse, but you like if you leave wherever you leave your horse, that's where it's going to be at. Like you can't call it to come closer to you. Mm-hmm. I think and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry because I have not. I looked on there for a button to call my horse. I didn't see it, and so I was like, oh, I guess we couldn't do that yet. And because I remember, I know in 2 and stuff you couldn't do that. And also, I don't know if this is the first game. I think the first game might have been either, I think maybe 4 or 3, where you can get on an elephant. I do remember doing that. I remember that was like a big deal. I was like, oh man, you can ride an elephant and like and just stomp on people and stuff like that. But man, the camera system in this game, yeah, it's really bad. Like it's like, man, they've done it's so much better now. It's so much like you can easily hit L2. I mean, it's not great, but it's like if you hit L2 real quickly, not L2, L1 real quickly, your camera come to face where you're facing like fast. But now in this version, oh my god, like it takes a while, man, and I'm like always get hit from behind. Luckily, they do let you have the cheats, so they have you use Code Breaker, their Game Shark, or the Action Replay, or any other code stuff they had back then. You can use that, so I don't have to have a problem of like dying really. So I was like, oh, that's good. And yeah, but it's still Dynasty Warriors. So I was like, I still can play this game, and it's not slow. It's definitely slower than the current one. Like running, like I definitely have to get speed up. Like I think I have a code though to have like I will have speed up at the start of the match. I don't have to find it. So the ability, because I was like, man, I'm running really slow like these stages. But once I had to speed up, it's like, oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's not as fast. It is slower than what current Dynasty Warriors is, but not to a point where I like, oh man, I can't play this. Like it's fine. And I was like, wow, this is still a game I enjoy. I mean, I know people don't like it. They feel I just never understood why people didn't like it. They even say like they keep hate like cause you just hit the same buttons and you just kill enemies. But I was like, I never play a game where I fought as many enemies at the same time though. I always thought that was the cool part about it. Mm. So I'm finding all these army of enemies, and I'm just going through. Now they could have done they could have probably done some other things better to make it more better game, which they have. They have done that. I mean, with Zelda and these other properties they used, and even the Giants and Warriors 8 and 7, they have done improvements on. Cause I also heard 7 was pretty good too, and 7 I think that's another one I missed the boat on. Like I think I went probably from 6 to 8, and so I did end up getting 7, and that game it is on PC. That's actually on PC, and I played a little bit of that. I just to try it out to see what people talked about, and yeah, cause like 8 doesn't really have a story. Like I said, they mostly focus on gameplay. They have a story, but it's kind of loose. Like it's there, but it's not really the focus. While 7, that's the focus because on the Mushu mode, which is they call it story mode. I think they actually call it story mode. You actually play certain characters, like they force you to play these characters because that's part of the story, which some people probably won't like. But if like for me, it doesn't matter, like because then I'm playing different characters, so it's like it's all cool. I don't just focus on one character, then I have to play another character. I have to pick to start from the beginning. And yeah, they have cutscenes and stuff, and it was still dubbed. Like, and eventually Dynasty Warriors stopped being dubbed for reasons I don't know. But there's usually money is always usually the answer. Yeah. But like thing is when they're talking during battle, it sucks because I'm not really paying attention to it because if they speak in Japanese, I'm not going to be reading what they say while I'm fighting. Like it's frantic battle. Like unless I have cheats or something on, or maybe on easy mode, maybe I will because I won't be having. It doesn't matter if they hit me or not, but because there won't be much consequence. But yeah, it's like, darn man, I wish I could have get somebody because listen, the voice acting wasn't great, even though. These fans, they seem to have loved the original voice actors because they hate the guys from 8, it seems like. They say they did not like that. They didn't have the original guys in there. Mm. And I never thought the voice acting was great to begin with. I thought it was a little cheesy, but I was good with that. And as long as you spoke English. Like, I think it was only one person who actually said what I thought on the Reddit forum. They were like, look, dude, I don't even care if the voices suck. If I can understand them, it's still better than Japanese right. because I can understand it. That's all I need. I just want to understand what they're saying. That's all I want, man. Like it could be a robot voice, lady voice, just talking for everybody. As long as I understand what they're saying, it's still. I mean, no offense to the Japanese actors. That's fine. I just don't know your language, where I'm going to have to read it. So it's not better for me. It's not better if I don't understand it, and I'm not going to learn Japanese just to play a game. That just seems a waste. Like if I'm going to learn another language, it's going to probably be Spanish or Klingon. I think that would be the most important language to learn.
Top 2 other languages in the United States.
yeah.
I saw the census data.
And maybe I might learn a little Canadian. But other than that, yeah, those are the languages I'm going to want to learn. I mean, as much as Japan, it's just that it wouldn't make sense. And basically, for my age, it wouldn't make sense anyway. If I had a kid or something, I would definitely be like, yeah, you're going to learn this other language because you're going to learn Chinese or Chinese. Actually, Chinese. To be realistic, it'll be Spanish or Chinese.
Yeah,
like that. That's where it's going to be. It's like because look, this might be the future and. You might have to defect to these to China or be like, hey, I will serve you because
that's when the Canadian comes back in. That's
all right. So what else I play? I played some more Trails. It's a little farther in that game. I did get a new character to be with our group. It is a male, and he is. Yeah, I'm just mad at the females that I have are underage. So there's always these jokes about like, oh, you got these women, blah blah blah. It's like, come on, man. And then at least your character's like, I'm not into like that. And these girls are too young. And or that people say like, oh, what are you doing? They say I'm suspicious of you having these young girls with you. And you
me too.
Like, it's not like that. It's not. He said me too. It's like it's not like that. I'm just helping them. Stuff like that. But the guy I'm with, he's like, I think 19. He always called me an old man, even though I'm 25. But like in Japan, no, old, they're old.
Yeah.
You're old when you're over 20. But the legal drinking age, I guess, is different in Japan, or at least in this game, because legal drinking age is 18. I want to say, because he was like, "Yeah, I can drink and stuff like that." But yeah, this dude, he's a cool dude. And he's real popular because he's a guy that helps this town out. Well, I guess he's a descendant from immigrants. Like he lives in the immigrant quarters of this country where it's like it feels Japanese. It feels like it's Japanese or Chinese. Oh, I guess you say Asian, like East Asian, part of the country. And and he also is like an actor in a stage play that's like really East Asian type of plays.
Okay.
But he plays the woman. He plays a woman. I mean, back in the day, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
just like in
Shakespeare.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even in they're the same as the Europeans were. Like the men, they I don't know. I just never got that though. Like why women couldn't act
because they had to be in the kitchen, Dominic.
I mean,
they couldn't have jobs.
Like at least for acting, it was like they couldn't do
to all
that.
Jobs, Dominic. That's the way it was back then.
Yeah. But he's real famous. Like the women love him, and the men who don't know that he's a man, they love him until they find out he's a man. Then they question themselves, and it's really funny. Cause it's really funny because like a guy who's supposed to be like a guy you see, he's kind of like one of the comic relief characters. He's up there like, oh my gosh, she is gorgeous, man. I have to talk to her because he's like a famous race car driver or something like that, and
okay.
and like it's like he still doesn't know, and he still doesn't know that's because he sees him and he doesn't like that dude, but he doesn't know that he likes
Same
him.
guy.
It's like almost like Flash Thompson with Spider-Man, except for he's not in love with Spider-Man. He's not.
I mean, in some of those comics, he might be.
Oh, okay. All right. What else I play? I played some more Frostpunk, and I got to a point where I've been sending. Well, I have already been sending scouts, but we actually got people. I found a place. I think one of the scouts found a place. They were really like hopeful. Like this place will be like if this place exists, like I guess there's been rumors about how they've got a lot of resources there, and the community is great. But you went there, everybody was mostly dead, and and people just like kind of lost hope. And now they got people who want to go to London. People believe like, oh, London might be great. We shouldn't have left London. We should have stayed in London and try to help fix their blah 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 whatever. And now you got people trying to convince other people to defect. So I had to find a way to stop people from losing hope, so that's when I had to make religion. And
as you do.
So I got a church. Well, either is religion or is another choice, but I chose religion. And so that kind of helped some. I put churches in certain part of the place, and then there was places where people are still getting out. Wow, so now you can get these people who are like, they are kind of people who kind of not really force people in religion, but they kind of like security in a way. I guess I don't know what you compare it with history. There is a group, that's like that. Not the Inquisition, nothing, but something's in between Inquisition type of shit and people just. I kind of like Game of Thrones when they had those people, those religious people who were kind of out there forcing people, to like. Well,
almost
they weren't really forcing, but cultists, yeah. Like you have these guys that kind of keep order, basically, with the streets, and you say yes, you keep order, like you say, but they might do some underhanded stuff, behind the scenes, because it said like, hey, some discontent might happen with these guys, but it also can help calm these people who are like who might be starting riots and stuff like that. So that's why I had to get them out there. So yeah, get out there and do your thing. Hit them with some crosses. I throw some like hit them. So beating people with crosses.
Yes, Warhammer.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I'm just at that point in the game, and I'm trying to get to the point where I can establish another like a place where I can get resources, like some type of camp or something where I can go and get resources. But it says I have to get like 10 workers, but I feel like I have 10 workers available. It's something I'm doing wrong, so I have to see what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm still having fun with that game. So yeah, so that's all I really played. This week I did for the PlayStation 2 emulator. I haven't played them, but I downloaded Def Jam.
Oh, nice.
The first one.
Yeah.
The first Def Jam. Vendetta. Yes, I was trying to remember because I remember it was a Fight for New York is the second one.
Yep.
And I'm going to. I think I thought I downloaded another game. Oh yeah, I don't have it downloaded yet, but I did see it was out there that I was going to get NBA Street 2 because I was like, man, I want to play that again.
There you go.
2. Now there was a 3, and it did come on PS2. Also, I never played that, and I don't know which one's better, that or 2. I have to look up because I think got okay reviews.
Yeah.
3 did. It was the 4th one that was kind of sketchy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to know like what is that compared to 2? Was it worth it? But yeah, I like that's what I really want to play again, and maybe some SSX. I'll go ahead and try that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was like, yeah, to play some of these games that I just can't play anywhere else, man. Like they're not available anywhere else.
Except for the 7 PlayStations that you own, of course.
Well, yeah, I'm not, but I don't want to hook it up, man. I'm trying to hook these old ass.
It's kind of trying to keep you out of legal danger, Dominic.
Oh yeah.
The BIOS file that you definitely took from one of those PlayStations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just easier to play on PC. All right, yeah, and they teach you how to do that stuff, how to dump the BIOS and shit.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, where am I? Oh, that's it. So, what you been playing, man?
So, speaking of kind of life sim style games, I think I talked last week about possibly getting back into Stardew Valley just as kind of a holdover to get out of this kind
life sim style games. What do you mean? Oh, Dynasty Warriors is kind of life sim.
Yes.
Dynasty Warriors. Frostpunk. Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, so I just started a new campaign in that. I guess you can call it a campaign. Started a new life in that.
New life.
New life.
You left your family. You said,
I left my family. I went to the farm.
It's like, I can't take this. I'm going to Stardew.
Locked myself in the shed. I'm just farming away, wishing this was the simpler life I had. Yeah, so I'm just doing the thing that I typically do in these games, is spending as much energy kind of clearing the land to create, a base for when I start planting crops. I did plant a couple just off to the side of my house, but
what kind of crops you plant?
Just whatever they gave me to begin with. I can't remember what it was, to be honest with you. But it's whatever. I think the mayor gives you like a bag of seeds or something right at the beginning. And the first couple of days I would go out after I was done, like almost out of energy, and just kind of talk to people around town to introduce myself. But for the most part, I kind of don't really want to engage with that stuff. Do you know if that's something that's like kind of cyclical, where it's like, oh, I can always go back and talk to people? Or is it like, you haven't been in town in 100 days, you're a hermit, nobody wants to talk to you kind of thing?
I don't know, because I was always the social guy.
Yeah.
I talked a lot, and I would be like, oh crap, I don't got that much time to do stuff. And that's when I learned the cheats to stop time. So I had time to talk to everybody. But yeah, because I did. I mean, some days, yes, there'll be some days I don't. Mm. When I did have time go, I was like, I'm just going to focus on crops today.
Yeah.
That's how I did. I
was going to say, I think that's probably the right way to do it, is like, this is a crops specific day, and this is a socializing day. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I just got to find my balance, because then there's also like the cavern or whatever, right? Too, where you
Yeah,
go down and get all that stuff.
yeah. Get one night stands every now and then. It's okay.
And I'm sure that like
that.
I probably, I don't know, I might be able to survive just off the land, but I feel like the more you socialize, the like more money you'll get and stuff like that to improve your equipment faster.
Stuff.
Yeah. Because I definitely remember back in like Harvest Moon getting like the sprinkler, where it's like, okay, I build my grid in a specific way, so I just stand in the middle of this thing, hit the sprinkler, and hit all the crops at one time. So I'm maximizing my efficiency here. So yeah, I'm just kind of trucking along in that. Although I didn't realize how soon Astro Bot came out. Otherwise, maybe I wouldn't even bothered kind of starting into Stardew, because with as much as I like that Astro Bot game that came along with the PS5, I mean, that's basically like my favorite experience with the PS5 at this point. Not only is it an awesome game, it also uses the controller in a way that I haven't seen anything else really do. And this is basically just an expanded version of that so far. Excuse me. Hold on a second.
Time, I know it's talking about this game is very emotional.
I'm getting choked up over all these PlayStation memories that I don't have, Dominic. Nintendo needs to make this game, but for GameCube. But yeah, so it's broken up into like little galaxies. Like it almost kind of has this Mario Galaxy vibe to it, while also staying very true to that previous Astro Bot game. And it's basically you were in this starship with all these different Astrobots, and then it gets crashed into by an alien, and they get scattered around the galaxy. And
this is gonna be our game of the year, yo.
I mean, it has a high potential for being mine.
Unless I don't vote for it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this game, and it looks really good. Like
it is so fantastic so far.
I mean, it looks like what Nintendo has been doing, and it's what I've been wanting from these other platforms to do for years. Yeah. Like, why can't y'all make a Mario-esque type of 3D world game?
Microsoft has Banjo and Kazooie. Like, they could have done this a long time ago.
They could have done this 10 times over.
Yeah. But I mean, they absolutely nail it with this game.
And PlayStation, once they got Naughty Dog and Insomniac doing these other games, Insomniac every now and then does a Ratchet Clank. Ratchet Clank has been on every system except for obviously the PlayStation, because it wasn't exist because they were doing Spyro. But they have done it in every system. At least that's been on every system. But Naughty Dog, like once they went on the Uncharted route, they just said like, no, we're making people with real people games. And we haven't got that fantasy
that they didn't
game.
Farm that IP out to anybody else. Like, it's so
weird. No
Jack
games, man.
Sly
and no
has
Sly
been gone for a while now.
Yeah, they half Sly forward, but I guess that was like, oh, that's enough.
Yeah.
And now you go make some real people.
Yeah.
We go make Horizon.
Yeah, but this game, like, it's broken up.
I said Horizon. Not my fault. I'm sorry. What did they make?
Ghost of Tsushima now.
Ghost of Tsushima. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And Infamous before that.
Well, I kind of wish. I kind of wish the Guerrilla Games would do fantasy then. Since Horizons just seemed like it's kind of not going the way as popular as I thought it would go.
Yeah, which is not very, despite the fact that they keep trying to push it.
Yeah, freaking Lego game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Probably the best game.
That I don't know. That game could be all right. It looks pretty.
It's not, because it's the isometric kind of Lego game, which has never been done really. So it's weird that they go that route and not like Star Wars and 3D.
Exactly, a third person game. Maybe they're trying to differentiate from the regular series, I guess. But yeah, back to Astro. The controller stuff is all still there. Although I will say, like, I've heard complaints of this before, of like that controller kind of hurting your hands eventually from having to like pull the triggers with resistance and all the shaking and stuff.
Oh, man up. Tell man up.
It wasn't until yesterday when I was playing this for like, like an hour and a half or so with a lot of like vibrations as I'm like running over this like spiky area with a ball that it really like, I was like, maybe there is something to that. But visually this game looks incredible. Like it looks awesome. Everything is super high res looking, shiny reflections on everything. Just beautiful art styles too. And a wide variety of stuff. Like you're in these galaxies and then there's multiple planets in each galaxy and each one has its own kind of distinctive feel to it. And then from there on every planet, the bigger planets at least, there's like 7 Astro Bots that you have to rescue. And then there's like 3 puzzle pieces. And then there's like this galaxy warp thing, which is an icon on the map, but I haven't actually
crazy. Is that Psycho Mantis? That's crazy.
Yes. And that's the thing is like, this game is awesome even for me not being like super nostalgic for PlayStation stuff. Like obviously I get all the references being as like into gaming as I am.
No, you don't.
I might not get all these references. There are some where I'm like, is that weird? Why would we do that? But for the most part, it's pretty recognizable stuff. And then they do these awesome things, which I've only played one level so far, but I saw in a commercial when I was loading up Twitch earlier, another one. But they do these levels where you basically inhabit the character from that game. So the first one I encountered was Ape Escape, and you don the like Ape Escape Astro Bot boy, costume, and then you're given a net as your special power, and then you're just going around the level trying to catch these monkey astrobots basically, or these ape astrobots I should say. And it feels very true to that. And the one I saw in the commercial was God of War. You get the Leviathan axe and you look like you're smashing through stuff. So far, I've gotten several different powers for each of the levels I've played. Not every single level has a power that I've experienced so far, but quite a few of them, I would say almost the majority of the ones that I've played so far, they give you something. And some of them have been like expansions of what was in that previous game. Like you get a monkey backpack and you can use that to use the triggers to grab with each individual hand, and you climb up different areas. I also got the dog one, which has been in trailers, which just is basically like a rocket pack. It shoots you forward. And for the most part, like the levels haven't been particularly hard to transverse. There is some like skill needed in some of the platforming. I don't think my daughter's quite ready for like a game like this. So I think it's a little more, elevated. It's a little higher level than just being like, hey, press the jump button. But also the like finding the astrobots and the puzzle pieces, that's when it becomes a little harder. Like they're out of reach a little bit. Or what I found now is there's these like kind of challenge levels almost, where it's just like this short contained thing, which maybe takes like 2 minutes if you're able to speed run it, if even that. And the first one I've found is based on the triangle on the controller. So I'm guessing they're probably going to be like triangle, cross, circle, square. And it's just like, I think it was 4 different ones. And this one, literally, I think I did like 20 times, because you're rolling on this ball, and of course the ball kind of has momentum, so you can't just like stop on a dime, and you're trying to avoid all these obstacles while going through this really short level, and it's just like these specific jumps I'm missing every time. And that's just really cool, because again, they're using like this concept that they've established in the game itself, but they're making like these smaller, digestible challenge levels that are more harder. And Mario does a sort of thing with in Wonder, where they have like the challenge levels there, where it's like, oh, you got this badge, now use this badge power to do this kind of thing. So it very much feels like a game where they're like, how can we look at Mario and what they've done and Nintendo has done with the platform, genre, and improve upon that and evolve that. And I think they've done a really good job at doing that. And hopefully this game sells well and is recognized. I mean, it's reviewing really well right now. But hopefully sales also shake out for them, because obviously Sony is in kind of a not so great spot, as we'll talk about coming up in the news here. But this is absolutely what I would have wanted from them, and they've absolutely nailed it so far. I'm about a galaxy and a half in. I'm not totally sure how many galaxies there are, but there are like 300 Astro Bots to collect. Each of the levels has 7, and then there's some in the outer world, because there's kind of an overworld thing where you can like collect and bring back all your puzzle pieces and stuff like that, in a similar fashion there was in the Astro's Playroom thing. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough about this game so far. I think this is easily going to be a game that I'm going to want to see through to the end, and is instantly just one of these games where it's like, yeah, I want to keep playing this. Like when I'm not playing the game, I'm thinking about wanting to play the game, which I've definitely been in a funk lately and haven't really found that. So I was very glad to hear that Astro Bot was out sooner than I thought, and that's why I felt like I needed to pick it up instantly. It's after these review scores have been basically nothing but praise. So yeah, it's a great game so far.
Yeah, man, it looks great, man. It looks really good. Like I'm excited that this game turned out to be something totally great. This is what Knack wanted to be. This is what that.
Astro Bot wishes, Dominic.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, this is what I always wanted. It's like I was just thinking, like, why can't these other systems make? It's like I can't believe nobody can make like a Mario,
yeah,
a 3D Mario-esque game, like just a 3D platformer game that's be creative with it and like in their own way. And it's like, but nobody does. Like nobody wants to do these so-called cutesy games. But
yeah, I'm
like, they sell on Nintendo. I mean,
I wonder if that's what it was. Is like they just weren't sure that they would be able to live up to like the Nintendo hypeness of it, and even if it was good, would it sell or not, on their platform?
I just feel like I wish game companies were at where movies were at. Like, it's like movie studios put all these movies out, and not all these movies are going to be big time sellers. And I guess the thing is, with movies though, they also don't spend a lot of money sometimes on those movies, even though they put a lot out. They probably have a chance to still get their money back because it's not spending a lot in gaming. It's kind of hard to do that. You could put small games out, but if you want to do something like what Mario 64 did, and Mario Galaxy, or Mario whatever, I mean those 3D Mario games did, it's going to cost money and you're going to want your return. But I almost feel like it should be in a long-term investment with some things. They should be a way where it's like, look, we got to put a game that's not just a shooter. With these companies, I wish they could invest in like a long-term investment. Like, yeah, you're not going to get probably immediate payback. Like, it's not going to be like big like your Last of Us or whatever Microsoft's most popular thing is right now. Whatever
that may be.
I guess Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I guess it's definitely not going to be that. But it's like just a long-term investment that, like, look, you have a variety of games. This game that's a different variety. That's something that a younger people can definitely supposed to play. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like something something that's not too violent, because like, hey, all games are just supposed to be fun. That don't have to be that serious type of violent type of fun. It doesn't have to be, it's something that's just fun and creative, but still uses some type of power. Like the system doesn't have to be like a $15 type of game looking of a game either. Like just to have that, like just say like, yeah, look, be invested in this, and then you can have that because look, you can put in something big like early on, and then it's used the assets for that throughout probably the system's lifespan or whatever, how long or whatever, to get as much out of that as you can. I mean, that's what I want,
and that's why I think it was an extremely smart move for them to release a smaller thing, kind of to one, I guess, gauge interest, and two, to have something to give away with the system. Basically, like you don't typically get free games with the system anymore unless you're waiting, a little longer, and they start bundling them with them. So to do that, and then that kind of builds interest for this game, right? Yeah, you now have an install base of, basically everyone with a PS5 had the opportunity to try out Astro Bot with it, whether they did or not. That's a whole other thing, but at least then they have some level of metrics, because then you have like trophies or whatever to gauge how much people engaged with that game. And then you can decide whether it's a good idea to, make a full experience or not. But, and it's also not necessarily like what it feels like we see a lot nowadays, which is kind of jumping on a trend. Nobody really is doing this outside of Nintendo. So it's like,
no,
hey, just let's get some variety on our console. I mean, shoot, like if Sony was really serious about releasing games, everywhere, obviously they're bringing stuff to the PC now, and I would definitely imagine this will come to the PC eventually, but like, could you imagine how well this game could potentially sell on a Switch or a Switch 2, if they got it up and running in a decent fashion there? Like I could absolutely see that going over pretty well with that audience. So yeah, hopefully Sony takes more cues from games like this and less from some other games.
All right, so I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014. All right, so 10 years ago on the Xbox One, they got Dance Central Spotlight. Dance Central was a big Kinect game. Yeah. When the Kinect came out on the 360, I mean, it was great. I mean, it was for a Kinect game, that was like one of the best ones. And how it really just rigged your whole body and you danced, and if you were like me, you only could do probably half a song, and then you had to take a break. And you had to hit pause and then take a break.
And it felt like it was actually judging you on like Just Dance, which just feels like you're swinging a Wii remote around, and it's not. Yeah. Like, how's it doing anything?
Like, it really was doing it. And this was what you said, this was the only one that came out, right?
Yeah, this was the Xbox One one. This is the only one that came out there.
Yeah, and was this the last? So is this the last Dance Central?
This is the last Dance Central too.
Yeah, so this is that's the last one. I mean, Xbox, they did have the Kinect that came with it when it first was released, and that was a big push, and that's why it also cost more. Which I just feel like Microsoft should have took the loss on that. They should have said you get a Kinect, but it's $400.
Yep.
Like it's $400.
This is absolutely like, between this and the digital only stuff, this was exactly what cost them this generation, basically.
Yeah, they just, the messaging was bad. It was so bad, and it still is. I mean, it looked like it looked like they got better at some point, but then they started saying, it was going to message away horribly again, and name our consoles, so make it confusing too. It's just like what the fuck,
Nobody learned from the Wii U, apparently.
No, because just the whole idea of, if that was really what the reason, because PlayStation was going to be called PlayStation 3, and it was going to call, we want to be called Xbox 2.
Xbox 720. Problem solved.
I just want to go. I just want to see like I wish there was like a thing that said, hey, what if it was called Xbox 2? What would have happened? I want to know what would happen. I really want to know what would have happened.
Also, why couldn't you just call it the Xbox 3?
Yeah, that.
I mean, although,
you know what?
going from 360 to 3 is maybe a little, but like, you know, if you're dealing with the same, well, I guess actually that would have been 4, right? Or it should have, if you were competing with the PlayStation at the time, right? Because the Xbox One and the PS4 came out at the same time. So like, just call it the Xbox 4. Doesn't matter if it's the fourth one or not.
I mean, it's been years. It was a lot years later, but you remember, phone skipped. I forgot which phone. It skipped 9 and went to 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. You could just make up the rules, man. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like a Goat Simulator. Nobody's angry about Goat Simulator 2.
Because all you have to do is just say, because you can always just say some shit like, you know what? Because this is more than 2.
This is the Xbox 4.
We had a 2. We had a 2 in the vision. They was like, nah, man, we want more. They said, let's just feel like a 3. And now we call it 3. We call it 3.
Exactly. Like, who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's so crazy that they couldn't just figure out a better way.
Yeah.
Or at least just come up with a better name. But
a better name, yeah. Just have somebody make a better name, man. God damn.
I think they actually thought that was a good name. I think that's the biggest problem is they were like, yeah, it's going to be the one thing in your living room, so we're going to call it the Xbox One. I was like, yeah, okay, guys.
But yeah, so yeah, but Dance Central, yeah. I mean, and I think this even was still rated a pretty good game. Yeah. I don't think it was. Yeah. I think it was still a fine game. But it was just on hardware that a lot of people, just not enough people were just really into. Yeah. And unfortunately, and yeah, it sucked. It definitely sucked that that happened. Also, what came out 10 years ago was Sims 4, man. I mean, The Sims was the biggest thing on PC at a time. I mean, it was huge. I mean, this was like people always talk about The Sims, man. It was like, I remember my friend had it. I was jealous of it, man. I was like, man, I want to play that game. And I finally played it, and then I wasn't as into it as I thought it would be. I was like, oh, I'm not really into this. Yeah, because what if I get a PlayStation 2? It's like PlayStation 2 version of Sims. My friend got that, man, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not really into it. And it's not what I really thought it would be. It's like, you know what? I need goals. And I think Sims on PS2 did have goals, actually, though. But no, people like to play like a simulated life and things of that nature. And I mean that was cool. So now we're on Sims 4. Now, Sims 3, I am trying to think, like, how did people enjoy Sims 3? I mean, of course, it sold shitload.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, like, what's his legacy? What's his legacy like? I mean, it got an 87 initially, but I wonder what people like the grand view of things. Like, what do they think of it? Because Sims 4, I just felt like that was I didn't feel like it was great as far as like its legacy starting out.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, starting out, definitely, I could see.
Well, the meta and I mean, it got a 70.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a 70 on PC. This is the lowest rated Sims game.
Jeez.
So
yeah, I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like all of these things that eventually made its way into, you know, Sims 3 have kind of been stripped back again in Sims 4.
Yeah, so we can sell DLC again.
So we can sell DLC.
Yeah, so we can sell the DLC again. Because let me see the critical reception. They say the reviews critics upon its release, according to the review aggregator Metacritic, reviewers strictly criticized the Sims 4's lack of features. Okay, there you go. Yeah. And missing content compared to previous titles, particularly The Sims 3. Creative style, color customization tool, open worlds, and gameplay elements from expansion packs. Reviewers also noted encountering frequent loading screens and some glitches. The PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game released in 2017. So they released a lot later. I don't know. I'm not going to get to that yet. Jim Sterling, here we go. This is Jim Sterling of The Escapist described the gameplay as boring and described The Sims 4 as shrunken and sterile.
Oh man,
Yep, it's just
I've
a
heard
limp
those
dick.
words before.
That's what I say. It's a limp steroid. Yep, and yeah. All right. Callie Plague of IGN was disappointed by the lack of cool objects in place of missing content, and noted a lack of furnishing options in build mode compared to the Sims 3. Nick 10 Game Revolution describes the game as a case study for loss aversion, noting frustration among the Sims fans due to the missing features and content. Yeah, so I did. So it was this game. So Sims 3 was, yeah, all right. It was this game. I was trying to remember what was the game I heard a lot of bad things, and it was this one. Yeah, people were really disappointed in Sims 4. I don't know what's its legacy now. Like, has it gotten better? I mean, I'm sure it's probably gotten better, but if it's still looked upon as like
An inferior
still
product.
bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the missing features controversy. That's what it was. And it's like what I said is that with all the expansion, that's why I always think like when you get something that has a lot of expansion, and you get like a 4 or like a sequel to it. It's like, yo, I'm sorry, that sequel is gonna have to have a lot of those features.
Yeah.
Because then what's the point? Like he's letting people to start over again just because the game looks better, and you gotta have something there. You gotta have something to make people want it. But this is also like, hold up, did Spore come out after Sims 3?
That's a good question.
So I want to know, this is like really the start of Max is really being kind of inferior with their stuff.
Spore was 2008. Sims 3 was 2009. So.
Oh, just a year. Oh, it came a year later.
Yeah, a year later.
But I don't know what actually took longer in development. I don't know. But Sims 3 was definitely like Spore. But Sims 3, I guess hey, it's like, hey, a year later, hey, we got Sims 3, and that was actually good. So you had some hope. Like, it was like, okay. So, even though Spore didn't turn out to be what a lot of people wanted, then you have Sims 3 came back. But now Sims 4, and then, like, they're, the Sim City, I like, because now, you know, the city skylines, man, that's the Sim City basically that people want and everything like that. It's yeah, man, the Sim stuff is I mean, I'm sure it's probably still making some money. I don't know what it is now, but just because of the name, but like I'm thinking like, man, it's just not the same anymore. I mean, that was the thing I always see. I usually see something about the Sim something like SimCity, SimTown, SimCity 2, you know, all these versions of SimCity, and then Sims came out, then you got all those DLCs that come out and everything. I just don't hear about the game much anymore, though.
Definitely not.
And that's, yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Did this never came out on the Switch?
That's like sort of surprising, but at the same time, maybe not at all surprising. Like, did that come out on consoles?
Yeah,
otherwise?
PS4 and Xbox One. I told you.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, like I said, that comes out 2017 though.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, yeah, it
It's
came
just
out.
not
Yeah,
powerful enough, Dominic. Switch can't handle it.
Yeah. They at least put like, wait a minute, isn't there
There's got to be like a My Sims on there or something.
But I thought we saw a My Sims. Like, isn't there a My Sims something happening?
Yeah, there's a My Sims Cozy Bundle on there right now. Or no, that comes out the 11th, November 19th. Yeah, that's probably what we just saw in that direct.
That's what I'm about to say. I was saying because I was like, oh, it still exists. I was like, that stuff still exists. So
Kids aren't old enough that own the Switch to play the actual Sims, Dominic.
Yeah,
there's nudity in
but
those
man,
games.
It's blurred out nudity.
Not in my version, Dominic.
Oh man. All right. So what else we have here? Yeah, is Sims Online still online? Is that still?
Oh
you
my
can
goodness!
still play Sims Online.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah. Sims Online.
There's the Sims Free Play.
I think it is because at least on Wikipedia does it say like defunct or stand.
Wonder
It
if this
says
is
a free third party. Wait, hold up. EA announced the game. Oh, here we go. EA announced the game was shut down and closed the servers August 1st, 2008. Good God.
And then somebody said,
The Sims,
no, I'll
the
create a
Sims
server.
Online has retrospectively been viewed as a failed experiment, with its failure attributed to its limited features, repetitive gameplay, and subscription fee. Damn, that's just free. And free third party re-implementation of the Sims Online title Free SO was launched in 2017. So maybe that's still going on. I don't know.
Now they just get the money from the phone game, Dominic.
The Sims Online. Oh my god. These memories. All right. All right. So where I'm at here, then. That's it.
Yeah, that's
I guess that's it for 2014. So now we hate to tell you so. Now we're going back 20 years. Well, is it 20? Yes, 20 years. 2004. And now we're looking at Burnout 3 Takedown. Came out for the PS2 and Xbox.
Yeah.
This is one, I think this is probably maybe the best Burnout for that generation, I want to say.
I think so. Before Paradise came around.
93, 94. Yeah, I got 93 Metacritic and 94 on the Xbox. And I think this was the last one that was just only on the this generation of console. The next one is actually on 360 and maybe PS3. I'm not sure. So this this got great reviews. I mean, Burnout was a great game. This is a game I actually missed. Someone missed the boat. I did borrow this game and I did like it, but I never owned it. A Burnout game. And even like Paradise, even though that's been released like a billion times and has sales so many times, I never owned it. Owned the game. But I played it and I always recognized like, oh man, this is a great game, and I do like you can just crash, because that's what I usually do in these games. I do crash, and you don't get points for it in freaking Gran Turismo. but yeah, I always thought this was awesome, and it became like bigger than Need for Speed, like the other one. Really, I mean, like, well, it gained critically bigger, and I think the way Burnout Paradise. So I have to look at the numbers because I'm curious. Like that probably definitely did better than probably a lot of Need for Speeds. But it seemed like that's where it ended, was Paradise. They had because like it's Burnout 3, then they had Burnout something else in between that before. I think they had Burnout Revenge. That came out in 2005, and maybe that Paradise was right after that one.
No, there were surprisingly more games than I thought. There was Legends and also Dominator.
Dominator was I never heard of Dominator though.
No, it's showing PS2 and PlayStation Portable.
That must have came out. It came out in 2007. Yeah, that's why. That's why I never heard of it. It's a late PlayStation 2 game, and then a PSP game. So like so it's like it wasn't.
And the other one's just
it was
a
probably
PSP
really made for the PSP.
game,
yeah,
so.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is the last.
It got a 76. That's not bad. So I mean,
the grand scheme of things.
It's still and Revenge. Revenge. Yeah, I remember reading about Revenge. I think it's still good. I think some people still say they like 3 better, but
yeah,
Revenge. It wasn't a bad game. Like I don't think they ever did a bad game really, unless it's a game after Paradise that I never fucking heard of.
Well, they did that Burnout Crash thing, which was like the isometric Xbox Live Arcade game, but I think even that people were mostly positive on. It's got a 77 on iOS, 69 on PS3, 66 on Xbox 360. That's actually a lot lower than I thought, based on what I remembered about the reception of that.
I take back what I said about Burnout 3 being the best one on the last gen console. Apparently it was the best one probably of all of them, because Paradise didn't have as high scores as Burnout 3. Paradise highest score is 88 on 360.
Wow.
I mean, it got 87. It got 88, 87, 87.
Its legacy
PS3 and
lived
PC.
on, though, Dominic.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it sold a ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I think now that I remember is that people did like those previous ones. Some people said like it was some of the previous ones that they liked better. I think the open world stuff was. I think some people liked it and some people.
Yeah, I think it was definitely
didn't.
hit or miss with some people.
Yeah. But overall the series was great, and it's just amazing that how it just kind of just stopped at the Paradise. Like
it's because
after
EA
that
bought
sold
them and made them
so many games.
Need for Speed games, which is just so absurd when you have like such a hot brand. You could have swapped off between them.
Yeah, it's like the racing game scene, which in video games was huge, is very limited now.
Yeah.
Which I mean, you know what you can say? You can say almost everything is limited now. Like a lot of things are limited now because it's not as many of those kind of companies anymore. Those big companies. I mean, it's not as many companies as it was, like big ones, and it's not. Then the companies that's out there aren't as making as many games as they used to. Also, They don't got many like people under them making games. There's only a few, like a few game IPs they have like working on people on the same time, and it's pretty grim to see like what's the future here. Like I hope when we're gonna find that space material or something in space where it's like, oh, the economy's good again because we found this special element.
Dominic, the rich would keep that to themselves, and we will all die under their boots.
You'll find this special
We're never
element
getting
that
to
does
the
a
Star
lot for
Trek
us.
future.
I know, man. It's like, what happened? What did we do wrong that the Star Trek future did right so we can get there?
We haven't had a violent revolution
Zero.
yet.
We need to find Element Zero. I forgot what I heard that term from. I don't know what game I heard that from.
It's like Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
All right. So what else we got here? We got Silent Hill 4: The Room came out. This is when you were just stuck in one room and you just had to stay there and fight ghosts and all this other stuff.
Element Zero is Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
This game, it got rated as 76, so it was all right. So this is the fourth Silent Hill game. The third one, I think, was rated definitely better than this, right? I think that was actually
I think so.
Pretty good. So people were excited for this game because it's Silent Hill, and Silent Hill's been a pretty good horror series. It's like basically number 2 after Resident Evil. I'm trying to think of another series that's up there, like between that, like at the time.
Yeah, this was definitely before the real fall off. I feel like, cause
exactly.
Even this one, while not like necessarily great, you said the review scores like they're pretty decent, and I feel like I remember there being a relatively high reception for this at the time.
Yeah, The Room, like especially visually. I remember seeing like the graphics for this at the time. I remember the screenshots on my magazines because I getting the video, but I was like, man, this looks really good. I say even though I'll be scared shit of it, that means I'll be even more scared because it looks really good. Looks too real. The game, let me see, blah blah blah. Let me see the reviews. What they say. The previews of Silent Hill 4 provided in E3 2004 led IGN to name it the best PS2 adventure game in the show. Upon its release in 2004, the game also attracted attention of mainstream news outlets, CNN and the BBC, and the Times. Silent 4 topped game sales charts in Japan during the video game sales jump, but dropped to 10th place 1 week later. Official statements of Konami referred to sales of the game in North America as favorable. What to say? Mark Saltzman of CNN wrote, unlike Hollywood horror movies that often get worse with each new sequel, Konami's scary Silent Hill series gets better and creepier with age. Video game magazine Game Informer praised Silent Hill 4. That's why I really thought it was good. Because Game Informer saying that it's disarming voyeurism, bizarre camera angles, and exceptionally well-placed tension is what the series has been trying to do all along. But The Room and the first entry. It's the first entry to do it right. According to the Edge, Edge is very strict, man. They are very strict with their reviews. Magazine, they said, look at all. Hey, I looked at One Way. What the hell? I don't know why they wrote it like that. Look at it One Way, and it's a choking journey with unprecedented attention to unease and psychological horror. A game framed with unparalleled sophistication. From another angle, it's just a clunky PS1 throwback with all the design wit of a dodo.
They had me in the first half, Dominic.
Yeah, they definitely did. That is Edge, man. Listen, man. You got to impress these boys.
Nah.
You got to. Yeah, it's hard to impress these guys, man. The New York Times found it completely lacking in true terror. Oh, the New York Times didn't think they had true terror in it, man. That's pretty bad. All right, yeah, but this game, I think was the story here. You are basically, you're Henry Towson finds himself locked in his apartment for 5 days with no means of communication and having recurring nightmares. Shortly afterwards, a hole appears in the wall of his bathroom through which he enters alternate dimensions. He ends up in an abandoned subway station where he meets Cynthia, Velquez or something like that. A woman convinced she is dreaming and who is soon killed by an unknown man.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Okay, all right. I'm spoiling the plot for you people. I'm
And
sorry.
that unknown man, him.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's just some scary shit like that, man. Darn. At least his plumbing still worked and everything. That's the important stuff. It's the important thing. If he was locked in his apartment, did he have enough food for those days too?
Probably not. That's why I started hallucinating.
No, darn. Darn, I was sucked. That's the first thing I'll see her when I open that dimension. I say, "You have a sandwich?" She
Talking to Pyramid Head and the faceless nurses. You guys got sandwiches?
All right. So that is. Oh no! One more thing. Also, 20 years ago, the Direct-to-Drive electronic game distribution portal was launched with IGN. IGN has launched this. So what is this thing?
Oh, basically a Steam competitor. This is proto Epic Games. Because I was thinking about it like it was like early like successor to what is that streaming service called? Something Now?
Oh yeah. On Live now,
Live, yeah.
On Live.
I can't.
On Live, yeah.
I don't know why my brain just went to GeForce Now and I blanked. But yeah, but no, this came after Steam was already a thing. So this was basically their attempt at competing with that. I think they were trying to do it with like more control. And then eventually it got bought up and turned into like GameFly streaming or something like that. Basically, when they decided that they needed to pivot, in a similar fashion to Netflix, and that obviously did not work out for them. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that was Steam came out and nobody really said, hey, we should also do this until like 20 years later. So they
well actually no, technically EA and Ubisoft did their own, right?
Yeah, but even that was like 5-10 years later, it feels like. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
probably expanding this timeline a little too far, but that's almost what it feels like here. So, and they were like hangers on,
Yeah, man. I miss baggages. I miss just going to the store to buy games. It's like I don't miss it. Well, I miss the. You know what? I still want it to be a thing, even though I probably won't go. I still wish it was a thing.
I like
wish
the
it was
idea of being able to go to a physical place and pick up a physical thing that I may want sooner rather than, when they can deliver it to me.
I wish there's people who do want that. That's what I think. I wish there was enough people who do want that it can exist,
Yeah.
Like say, yeah. I just like that it's there. Because then that means, hey, there's jobs out there. There's his job. Somebody's
Instead,
working.
there's just jobs in vans of people delivering things between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m.
Yeah, and then taking people places.
Yeah.
Taking people places to certain jobs or something like that. Oh man, it's crazy.
Gig economy.
Oh my god. Yeah, the gig economy is just awful. It's awful, people. Don't think this is a good thing. Alright, so now we're going back, what, this is 30 years, right? If I'm doing my math right. 30 years ago, 1994. And we got Live Alive. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Not Live Alive? Or Live Alive?
Live Alive? I think it's Live Alive.
Oh, it's Live Alive?
I think. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you.
Alright. It's the stupid English where you can pronounce this two different ways. I
wonder what it's called in Japan.
I know, exactly. It's probably, it probably makes some more sense. But yeah, this is the RPG that came out years ago. I had never heard about it until it was re-released for the Switch.
Months ago.
And that it was a Squaresoft, Squaresoft at the time, I believe. Squaresoft game. Squaresoft game that was on the. What did I say it was on Super Nintendo?
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, and you played in different time periods with different characters, and I guess there's connection between all these characters at different time periods, like from prehistoric age all the way up to the space age, and like they in between they have like feudal Japan, China, Wild Wild West, even modern day, and I don't know what country he was in. I mean, maybe Japan because this is a Japanese game. Who knows? But it was. I guess it was rated pretty well because why would you release a game that wasn't good and just release it again?
Nostalgia.
Well, they did to Bubsy that way.
I was gonna say
they did do that to Bubsy.
But even though Croc, like they're doing a lot, Dominic.
Yeah, well, you know what? Those games were good, and y'all just didn't understand them. They were ahead of their time. And then when they came out again, they were behind the time.
Oh, no.
And then they come out the right time. Or the right dimension or something like that. But yes. So this game was 30 years ago. So I guess they had an anniversary. When did Lava Lava re-release?
It was just a couple of months ago, I feel like. Maybe
it was only just a couple months ago?
Most.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was at least like last year.
It's going to be like 2023. It's like, no.
Wow, they're showing an initial restate. Yeah, come on, man. Me out. 2023. Yeah, okay. It's 2023. Well, actually, no, 2022.
Oh, my goodness.
For the Switch.
I see 2 years ago. Oh, no.
And then it was released last year for the PS4, PS5, and PC.
God, time is flying, Dominic. I could have swore this game just came out like last year at the most. It's been over 2 years. I hate that.
I was wondering why you thought it was so soon, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe they announced it that time and it hasn't come out yet. I could have sworn.
Dominic, I have no understanding of time whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, time is, and
time that's is what a fickle thing.
What these things called? It's infringe, because it's these things that they're all throughout time, but they don't see time as like we see time. It's just they're just there, and it's like it's not really that they were in the past. They're just here.
I'm perpetually stuck in the state of current day.
Yeah, it's like I was like, I still don't understand. My brain hurts. I was like, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Just like when they say, "Oh, that star has been dead for a long time ago. We're just seeing the light." I said, that doesn't make sense to me. That makes no sense to me. If that star is dead, I went and see it. It's still alive. I'm just saying, what if I go like there super, super, super fast then? Like, is it like I travel back in time? Is that what it is? I went so fast I traveled back in time?
Technically, but you can't go faster than the speed of light, right? So that's the whole
I'm just saying,
of like the Einstein-Rosen bridge where you're doing like a wormhole to like transport from one spot in the universe to another. Yeah,
because they say like you don't go in a straight line. They want you supposed to bend. Like that's what they say. Well, like that's what they're trying to do, is to make it so we could go fast to other planets and out the galaxy. We have to not. It's not so much like you go on a straight line to someplace. You're bending. You're warp. Like,
Yeah,
well,
you have
that's
to
what they call warp.
manipulate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, God damn it, this is so confusing. I don't know how y'all scientists do this shit. So what kind of math did I come up with this? Like, how do y'all do this?
Ones with lots of letters involved in the problems.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of letters.
Greek numerals.
And I was just like, man, I was like, why did it? I always ask, like, what do we use this for? And as a math teachers never told me. And I was like, so this is what they, like, I didn't even, like, I guess the new math does that. I guess it shows how this math is used, applied into today's.
Does it?
How people use it. Well, it's supposed to.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
I have not yet encountered new math, so I'm kind of concerned.
Yeah, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make it easy. It makes it easier for people to learn it and how to do a better way. Which that pisses me off, because like I wish it was done like that before. And also, was my teacher like, I liked her, but she made you feel dumb when you didn't get the answer right, and you embarrass you, and it makes you be mad. And I was like, why can't you do that for the white girl? Why can't you do that to the white girl right there? You gotta make us all look bad. It was like, that pisses me off. I was like, you self-hating black person, you making all of the black people look stupid. Yeah, it's supposed to do that, and because I want to know, just like, okay, what job where they actually use this? I'm just curious, because I just want to know, like, when do you use this? I mean, yeah, I'm not going to probably ever use it, but I am at least want to know.
Yeah,
I still want to know, because I'm fucking learning it. What the fuck is what me learn it then?
Instead, just show me how to do my taxes.
Yeah,
those are numbers that will be useful.
Oh, definitely. You know what's funny, Daniel? I learned to do my taxes in middle school.
Oh, yeah?
My teacher taught me that in social studies.
Nice.
How to do our taxes. I'm sure we all forgot. Because I was thinking we was going to have to learn it again, and said, I guess we're going to teach us again, because it's not, no way in hell
I'm not paying taxes, how to do taxes for another couple of years.
But I'm freaking 13 years old. But it's like, yeah, it's like, darn. And plus, like, even if I get a student job, I don't have to do them. Like, because I'm too young. But it's, it was crazy though. Like, yeah, she taught us how to do, like, the taxes and, like, everything, W-2 forms. And I was just thinking, like, damn, man, some of these people can probably help their parents out right now. Because they say, hey, Mom, you don't have to go to that H&R place and pay that person. I'll learn how to do it. I thought it was pretty cool. And I don't know, like, was that part of the curriculum? Because I heard nobody else been taught this. And I was like, why is my teacher? It's like, darn, I guess being good on her. It's unfortunate that
she used to be an accountant. She's like, you're going to need to know how to do this.
And I hated that teacher, too. I think that's the best thing I learned in her class. She was mean. She was a very mean teacher. I mean, she's probably nice. I wonder, was she always mean, or did things happen and that made her that way?
Jaded.
Yeah, because kids are assholes. You know, I mean, you know, but I respected her. But yeah, that was crazy. All right, so that's it for the flashback segment. Yeah, and also flashing back into my life, and we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get into the gaming news. What are we looking at now?
All right, Dominic. Microsoft has announced that they're going to be doing a little showcase situation during Tokyo Game Show on Thursday, September 26th. It's going to be at the end of the month. And there's been some speculation, some rumors coming out that this could also coincide with some announcements about Final Fantasy finally making its way to the Xbox.
I was hoping that. Or Microsoft announcing that, like, we're getting out the game business. And they're not saying Tokyo Game Show.
They get on stage and Phil Spencer bows with the president of PlayStation.
Or they say, like, with the console business, we're out. We're just going to be doing third party and everything.
Oh, no.
But no. But yes, that's what I was hoping for. Like, something like that. Like, either Final Fantasy, like, something with Japanese companies. Capcom, Final Fantasy, something to get that going. Because Capcom. I guess but you'll get into that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the next thing. Like getting these companies on board to get their games out the same time as they're doing PlayStation. It's like what the fuck, man? Or come at all.
Yeah, or come at all. Yeah, I mean that's the unfortunate thing. I think that's a problem for them though, because this next thing is that Microsoft is apparently going to be assisting Capcom to bring Marvel vs. Capcom and Capcom Fighting Collection to Xbox, but it's going to be in 2025 after the games have already released on the Switch and the PlayStation. And I think it's great that they're working with them. We've talked about, what they need to do to be working with these companies, including, the Black Myth Wukong guys to make this stuff happen. And we saw that kind of happen with Baldur's Gate 3. But in a lot of cases, this is maybe a little late,
Unless it's on Game Pass. That's the only way. It's not late. It's on Game Pass.
And there is that, but even then, if that's going to be the case, they have to say that up front, because
I know. I know. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like if it's going to be like, it's going to be say like, hey, this is going to be on Game Pass. But thing is, the problem is that. First, the problem is that whatever the architecture is, they can't put these on these current gen consoles, because technically it's on the PS4.
Right.
And it's just that it's backwards compatible with the PS5. And the thing is, it's like, Xbox, and I guess the Xbox One, is the architecture of that is still not.
Yeah, it's different.
Easy for it.
Right.
Easy to do that for it. So the thing is, I just feel like Xbox. They knew this. This ain't something that it came out like they knew this game was coming. They knew they probably had this problem. I would have announced initially when they first announced that they're going to try to make this game. Hey, we're going to help you get this game.
Yeah.
On our console, so they come at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that makes me wonder what these partnerships are. Like, is Capcom not giving them a heads up ahead of the announcement of this, or are they finding out when we find out that this game is happening, and then all of a sudden they're just blindsided, like, oh crap, now we got to see.
That's when I want. Yeah, I don't. That's why I wish there was in the game industry. There's not enough transparency.
Yeah.
Like it's not enough there for me, and that's why it's always speculation. That's why I hate. Now, when it's news like this, when you don't have enough information, I don't like reading the comments, because there's a bunch of people who are saying stuff they don't know.
Yeah.
And they have no idea. Yeah. I mean, and it's just that I see the initial story, and then I see people talking about see, Microsoft should have did this or that, or somebody say, hey, no, it's Capcom, and I say, we don't fucking know, yo. And then somebody says this, well, I got an inside source, and they're not even a part of something. They just said, or it'd be like an influencer. I remember him saying something like, I got an inside source on this, that this is about that the news about Microsoft,
Black
Wukong.
Yeah.
Black Wukong being exclusive with PlayStation. And then there's a guy who says, I got an inside source saying that, no, it wasn't exclusive with PlayStation. And this guy, I don't know him from anywhere. I mean, I guess he's just an influencer. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to... I said, I don't know you, dude, so I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to take your word for it. And the people keep saying, well, it doesn't make sense to do that. I agree with you. To me, it doesn't make... To me, I don't know how it makes sense that why would PlayStation have exclusive without even announcing it's exclusive.
Right.
I don't know. There could be some reason I just can't think of, but... Just because it don't make sense to me doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm not saying it happened, but if I'm gonna go by the guy who at least is in the industry, like these guys, these sources that they say they talk to before I talk to you. I mean, y'all just speculating too. Y'all just speculating. While these guys say they've been told something. So I'm gonna go by them. I mean, hey, I don't know. They could be wrong, but I'm not gonna just say they're wrong. I'm not going to do that, because it wouldn't make sense. Because I have no reason to say that they're wrong. I have nothing to go by. That all I have is I don't know why they will lie. Now their source may lie. I don't know their source, but I'm also not going to be like, oh, they're just wrong. Whatever, it's Xbox fault. It's just they're just wrong. Blah blah blah. Like no, that's what I said. It needs to be more transparency. So stuff like this wouldn't. Well, it will still. You know what? It'll still happen. That's the thing. It won't be as much though. It won't be as much, and it have no stand. It will have no standing. But people can't really speculate to that. They'll know the answer. It's like oh yeah, PlayStation had some type of deal with them, so that's what's on Xbox. Or is that oh no, Microsoft? It's really their system. The system is what caused it. We'll actually know. And yeah, with this like the Capcom news, yeah, I want to know. I want to know did Microsoft know to do this, or is just y'all hiding it? And then I mean, even still, at the end of the day, as a consumer, you don't have the game. Like so, whatever relationships y'all have with these guys aren't really good. Y'all need to start building it because these guys just don't. Either they don't give a fuck about you and just putting out games somewhere else and then saying, oh, we can't make it. Or they are telling you and you're not doing it. But either way, you're not having a game as a consumer. It's not good for me.
Yeah.
Like as if I own the Xbox. Like it's just another thing telling me like why am I having your system? Like besides the Game Pass is the only reason. Like because I have nowhere else to play Game Pass on. So I have to play it on that system, and it's the best deal I could get. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I pay a little bit more for the Sony thing. Yeah. Maybe their thing might be actually worth it in the long run. I mean, because then I have potential. If I want a game that isn't going to be on Game Pass or the Sony thing, it's going to be on their console.
Right.
It's going to be on Sony's console, and I can buy it.
Yep. All right, Dominic, speaking of Sony and their consoles, they released a new promotional image for the 30th anniversary celebration for PlayStation. And in it, there is an image that looks distinctly like the image that was created by Bill Kuhn, a leaker of the PlayStation 5 Pro that he had seen, because he saw an actual box allegedly, but did not want to post pictures of that box because he thought it would get him potentially compromised. So they released an image that they made up, and basically this icon looks very much reminiscent of that. It has kind of these three divided lines on the side of the PlayStation, which appears to be kind of the distinct feature of the PlayStation 5 Pro. So it feels like any day now we could see the actual announcement of this thing. You know, it could be at Tokyo Game Show. It could be before Tokyo Game Show. The reality is it could just drop in a tweet like the PlayStation Slim happened to do. We all kind of expected an event for that, and they just decided one day they were going to put that information out on Twitter. So I don't know how important they feel like this is to that, because if what I'm hearing is accurate, that basically this is trying to sell to people that are already in the PlayStation ecosystem, people that are already willing to buy a PlayStation. They're not necessarily trying to sell to new people. You know, those people are already going to be in the know as in regards to video games. So do they need to put on the whole show and the horse and pony show or whatever to try and get attention on this? Or are people that are already buying PlayStations going to be on Twitter and just see that they announce this and go, okay, I'm going to drop these $700 or whatever exorbitant price this is going to end up being to get this, so that my Astro Bot and my Call of Duty look, you know, particularly shiny this year. What do you think, Dominic? Do we, because all the rumors are saying that maybe we see the Switch 2 before Tokyo Game Show as well. Do you think there's any chance that we see that before we see the PS5 Pro?
I'm gonna say no. I was gonna say no.
I feel like PlayStation
for no reason whatsoever. I have no reason.
I feel like Sony is in a position where like they would want to stay out of Nintendo's way, but I feel like Nintendo's in a position where they don't care about what Sony's doing. So I wouldn't entirely be surprised if Sony does have some inside dirt on like when Nintendo would be announcing that, whether, you know, they would want to come out afterwards like, oh, you know, well, maybe we aren't going to see pricing from a Switch 2 at announcement, I'm sure. So I guess that wouldn't really matter, because I was thinking maybe like Sony waits till Switch 2 is announced and the price is there, and then they can be like, well, we can go above that then, definitely. But I just don't expect to see pricing from that Switch 2 anytime soon necessarily, even if we see it. So I guess that doesn't matter. All right, Dominic. And then the last story I got here, Concord has been taken offline as of the recording of this episode. It was taken down on September 6th, basically 2 weeks after the release of the game. That is probably one of the worst runs I've ever seen in a live service game, Dominic. What do you think?
That is crazy that it shut down that fast. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that in anybody. Like, I mean, I guess good on them to just say like, look, we gotta look at this again, or I mean, I don't know if they're gonna try to change something.
They say they're trying to like reassess and reevaluate, but the reality is like, how can you fundamentally change this game in a way to re-release it? Because you could have just made it free to play.
It has to be free to play. It has to be free to play.
But like, from what I saw of that game is like, it wasn't designed necessarily as a free to play game. You know, like the hooks to get money out of people that aren't necessarily paying to buy the game aren't necessarily there. So like, are they going to try and implement that stuff? And if so, like, the people have already seen what the universe has to offer for that game. Unless you're like coming in with brand new characters that are like far more interesting than the ones you already had in there. I don't know what you do. I don't know if we ever see this game again, Dominic.
Yeah, it's sad that it can't, that like they say that they spend how many years? 6 years making this
something
game?
Like that, yeah.
So 6 years ago, what was Overwatch?
Popular.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
it's the talk of the town. That's what.
I don't know what. I mean, it's like 2018 or so. So it. Yeah, man. That's man. I feel bad. I mean, I feel bad for those guys who worked on the game.
100%. It's awful
for it to go like, and just to come out like this. But like someone said, you don't chase twin. If you chase a trend like that, you better have it like you coming out pretty damn soon, man.
And that's the problem when you're making games like you are nowadays. I don't think that's possible. You know, it's.
I mean, unless you already got something in build,
yeah,
like how Fortnite
exactly, and that was basically just an entire pivot. They're like, we've got this game, we're just going to make this into a mode, and then that mode takes over the entirety of the, you know.
That and yeah, like you have all the assets and stuff just ready that you can just do that. If you don't, you gotta build something different, man. I don't know how you. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Like I don't know how you, because at some point, even you start, you gotta look. At some point, it should have been like a pivot, where they said, "Oh, this genre is not really expanding much out of Overwatch, and it's only the only ones that have done well, like Valorant or even to some extent in Paladin and Apex Legends, they're free to play.
Yeah,
you don't have to buy those games. So we either need to pivot and make it a free to play game, or we need to build like some type of single player element to this, that maybe you have this mode in here, but we got
Yeah, it differentiates it.
yeah, we need something to really to change the game on this.
Let's look at it this way, Dominic. Foam Stars is still online.
Yeah, that's still available.
Like, that is wild.
Maybe that's popular in Japan. I don't know.
Maybe. But you also have to consider that game released as a PlayStation Plus game. So it wasn't
that too.
It wasn't quite a free-to-play game, but it was about as close as you can get to a free-to-play game without. So, like, if this game had potential, like, that's the avenue I feel like they would have gone down with this. Is like, hey guys, you know, obviously you wouldn't say this, but like in the boardroom meeting, you go, hey guys, player count is real bad on this. Let's put this in PlayStation Plus, try and boost these numbers, get people playing. Cause like what we have is solid. You know, this is them saying this. I don't know that that's true or not. What we have here, fundamentals, they're solid. We just need people to be experiencing them, give them a try, and then they'll realize that this is a good game and they'll play it, and then they'll be happy, and then we'll be happy. Because we'll have a living game and more people will eventually buy it when we make it $40 again or whatever. But for them to just so quickly take it down, like, I'm not even sure I see what the advantage is in taking it down. Is it just like saving on server costs, or are we talking like a Warner Brothers situation where they're going to get
like, hey,
tax breaks? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I don't know enough about that stuff to even say it, but it's got to be. And that's the thing. I'm thinking it's got to be. It's cheaper to kill it now than to let it stay up there.
Can they sell it off to Ubisoft, who will then churn out like a whole bunch of content for it and turn it into one of the biggest games ever?
I don't know.
Because like
they're behind the time. I think that like if you're gonna do a hero thing, it has to be either free to play or you're gonna have to do something dramatic.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. That's gonna have to be a mode or something if you're gonna make me pay for it. Because it's got to be like a single player experience with this thing, something that makes it like worth a game. Even if I don't even play that mode, like if I don't play the multiplayer thing, it's still a game there. Because it's just this is not nothing in that space. It's not enough room in that space for a game to be that you pay for and people put time in, and like you said, not your characters don't look that interesting. It's just it's like I don't know, man. Yeah, you missed. It's like you missed the boat. Like you missed the boat, and I don't know if what if you came out. Let's say somehow they came out 6 years ago. Like it just came out. Like hey, your game's out. I don't know how it would do then. Honestly, I don't know how well that game would do.
No.
I don't think it'll be highly popular, honestly. Maybe it might do better than now, but I don't know if it would even do well, honestly, because I think like you said, how it looks is just not as interesting out there. And then if you still have Overwatch and you have these other games, and then Overwatch, I think you still were paying for 6 years ago. Yeah. But then you have these.
6 years ago it was basically just launching, right? Because it came out 2018.
No,
2016. Sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah. You still would have been paying for it 2 years later.
Yeah. You still would have been paying for it. But there are other games that are free to play. That's out there. Like if you want to put some time in.
Yeah, they were fighting an uphill battle with this game. And at what point do you do this behind closed doors like they did with the Last of Us multiplayer game? And I guess at what point do you go, well, we've spent all this money on it, let's throw it out there and see if we catch anything?
Yeah, I just want to know how far were they in those other games compared to this one? that maybe they felt like this was too far in, that they feel like, hey, put out there, because yeah, they would have killed it.
Yeah, and they did. It's just put in this way, they killed it with a public execution. It is just so wild. Like, not only are they taking it offline, sorry, I mean, it's been only 2 weeks, but like they're issuing refunds. Like they're
they're getting people money's back.
That's what makes me think that this game is not coming back. You know, we saw recently with the Warner Brothers Multiverses, like,
yeah,
they didn't give people his money back. They were like, we're taking this thing offline. You got your skins, I guess. And they did eventually come back, but the fact that they're basically like wiping this game off the map makes me think that there's got to be some financial incentive for them to do this. And we're not going to see this game ever again outside of, it is still going to be part of the Amazon and Blur Studios series, the secret level that we had seen announced a couple of weeks ago.
But I guess you know, all the problems we said, like how the game, all the problems with the game, they mean nothing, because if it wasn't woke, it'll be popular, apparently. Because that's what the internet says. They made these woke characters, these characters that nobody wants to play as a fat woman, as some man said. Nobody wants to play as a fat person. Want to play as somebody who's good looking and stuff. Stop trying to force us. And yeah.
No green people, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Even though like somebody says, like you had, what's his name? Or the Hall guy, the fat guy from Overwatch. But, but like I said, like somebody said, it's like, it's not about being fat or nothing, like people don't play. It's about being interesting, like looking as a good character. That's the problem. It's not the size. It's like, come on, man. Like that's not the these made up issues. Like somebody says, like you hate some of this stuff and you're looking for it, and so when something fails, you just going to say that's the reason, and it's not true.
Meanwhile, you can pretty much find that same stuff in every piece of media ever, except for your like really poorly made stuff that's coming out of, you know, like super right contingents.
And I guess that's why Overwatch is not as popular now as it was, because it got woke, even though it was woke from the beginning. But even though it was really woke from the beginning to me. But and it was popular as hell. But no, they're gonna say that, hey, this is why it's died.
It's got nothing to do with the gameplay changes or anything.
No. And them them changing stuff.
They changed the Cowboys name, Dominic. How dare them?
Yep, and that's why I failed. They should have kept that man's name. What was it? Clint Eastwood. They should have kept Clint Eastwood's name.
Yeah.
It's high noon.
All right, Dominic. That is the gaming news for the week. Anything else for the people before we go to?
I thought I saw something. Let me see what I see up here on GameSpot, because that's the only site I can remember right now besides Eurogamer.
I definitely found it more difficult to find the things that I'm looking for, because like usually I'm like picking up stuff from podcasts and occasionally whatever websites I visit, but like I'll go back at the end of the week and try and, you know, gather anything that I may have forgotten.
Shared their plans for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, for the PlayStation stuff.
Like, are they having a show?
They're doing from October to the end of January. Sony will release classic PlayStation game scores on Spotify and other.
I'm sorry, man. You did mention some of that.
I didn't really go into the details. It was just details. Yeah. So they're doing that. God of War, Twisted Metal, Unit 13. If you're a big PlayStation Vita fan,
is it a free trial version of Gran Turismo 7?
Yeah, there's also a free trial of Gran Turismo 7.
Is that the latest one that already came out?
Yeah, 7.
Why isn't there a free trial of that already? I thought they were announcing like, oh, the new Gran Turismo. I was like, wait a minute, this is the one that's already came out. Y'all didn't have a trial. I thought y'all were already. That's what they were doing. Trials. Oh, is trials only if you have a certain
Only if you have a certain level of PlayStation.
level? Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah, that's right.
Which
that's
I think
right.
is the highest level, even.
I was about to say because I don't know if it's your level.
Yeah, no, middle level. And then they're also doing stuff for sports games. September 21st and 22nd will be free online multiplayer weekend. Yes, as well.
Tekken 8 and Guilty Gear Strive.
Yep, and Madden
And EA UFC
MLB.
5. Okay.
Yeah. So they're doing some stuff. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff as well that they're going to reveal.
Are they letting the old PlayStation come? They say, "Hey, come. We haven't seen you in 30 years. How you doing, buddy?" It's like, you can't come on a wheelchair. You know
what's going on, Pat?
It's like,
yeah, I mean, for the what was it, the 20th year, the 25th year when they did the PS4 that had like the PlayStation 1 colorway, like that was really cool. I'd be interested to see if they did something similar with the PS5,
they should bring
PS5 Pro.
You know what? They should before announcing the Sega Saturn should have come up there to announce him on stage. It's like, hey, we had some a good rivalry there, and it's like we were friends and blah blah blah, and then he announces
and you really
him up there.
kicked me in the dick.
And the N64 will be up there too, you know, to shake hands and stuff. I just imagine. I was saying, I just imagine like some big console with hands and arms and just.
Nintendo 64 is looking real wide today. Yeah. But all right, Dominic. We'll get into new releases then. First up, the casting of Frank Stone. This is on PC, PS5, Xbox One.
Oh yeah, this is based off the Dead Light.
Yeah, it sounds like
is it Dying Light or
Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight, yeah, because Dying Light is another game.
Reviews not good based on what I saw on Metacritic and OpenCritic.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, sounds like a bad spinoff of that game. Got Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. That is also part of the PlayStation
it's still
Plus.
On the old consoles. I mean, even Xbox One. Darn.
Yeah. Gotta get Warner Brothers trying to make their money wherever they can, Dominic.
What's the reviews on this?
I haven't actually seen any for this. But I was gonna...
I need to know the rules. I need to know about that tricky snitch thing, because I don't like that. I don't like that rule.
I saw a lot of people complaining about that. Apparently, as part of like I think the like real people playing Quidditch championships that they do, they like changed that rule so that it only accounts for like a certain number of points or something like that. Okay. I saw somebody describe it as like, what if you were playing football and then there's just like two random guys in the parking lot trying to chase a rat, and whoever catches the rat wins. Yeah. So that game never really made a whole lot of sense.
I mean, a woman made up this game, so obviously it's
hey now. Should we be mad at the cover athlete, Dominic? This looks a little woke for J.K. Rowling's liking. If I had to guess.
Wait a minute. Why? It's a
black woman.
A black woman? Oh my God! Jesus Christ! The internet is broken.
So much curly hair, Dominic.
I can just imagine the stuff people are saying. How great it is that it's a black woman up there. I can just imagine that's what they're saying.
That's exactly what they're saying. Yes.
And J.K. Rowling got a big picture of it hanging up in her home.
Is that an Adam's apple I see? No, I'm kidding. All right, Dominic. Next up, Ace Attorney Investigation Collection out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One. I know you played these games relatively recently, but like, is it time to go back or can it wait?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to that game because that was so different. And I think I played it. I played it twice, but I think I beat the first one. I didn't beat the second one again. But But yeah, it's good because really in the U.S. you only had the first one technically.
Yep.
But yeah, you get or some people probably didn't play the games. Like they're different. They are different than what the traditional Ace Attorney games are. I thought they were all right. I thought they were pretty. They were pretty good. I was really interested in them. I mean, I liked it better. Honestly, I liked it better than Apollo Justice game.
Yeah.
And maybe even those ones that came on DS also. But yeah, I think that was probably the best one next to the original Ace Attorney. Even though I would say I still like overall the best the what's the old one called? It's not old, but it's based off of London, like old London. What's the one that take place in the past called?
I'm blanking.
Ace Attorney and oh my god, Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Great Attorney Chronicles or something like that.
Yeah, the Great Attorney. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think that's the best one. I think that's the best one out of all of them. Yeah, that was great. And that was in the I can't really compare it because they didn't come out in the U.S. So it did look great, but I mean compared to what I've seen of the screenshots of the original one of that, the remake was really good, really well done. But yeah, I gotta play through this one that I have here, the Apollo Justice one. But yeah, I mean, I hope they now they gotta make a new game. Because there is no other ones to remake. They're gonna remake the remakes.
Run out of the games.
They're gonna remake the remakes now.
Don't give them ideas.
Back to Chronicles.
Don't give them ideas.
Go back to Chronicles and make it better. This time's a little bit more animation. This time.
Every time there's just a little bit more animation until it's full motion video.
Until it's full animated in like 30 years.
All right, next up, Dominic, NBA 2K25 is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. So, more 2K.
Oh yeah, some more basketball. And who's on the front? The front of this is the which we call it from the Celtics, right?
Yeah, Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, yes, Tatum, yes. He's just won championship. They knew he was going to win. That's what it had. So I was joking. And on the special edition, who is the guy?
Oh, is there a different guy on the special edition?
Yeah. There's a special edition. There usually is, because one time like they had the Kobe was on the front. Right. It was a special edition.
Hall of Fame edition. Let's see. Oh, is that Kobe again? No, that's not. So that's Vince Carter, I think.
Vince Carter,
a very small picture, but I think it might be Vince Carter because they also got him in a screenshot here.
And then they have a WNBA player sometime a version where they have on the front, or the woke version, as people will say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, it's like I just imagine they would say that. It's. I forget. I thought I saw it because I saw it when they had Tatum. She was with him. The NBA on the
Wilson?
cover. What's her first name?
AJ.
Oh, okay.
She's.
Oh, I put 2K24 by accident. I mean 2K25. Okay, because I'm about to say it's like that. Don't look like her. Yes, AJ Wilson. Yeah, Aja. I think it's Aja.
Okay.
I don't
Plays
know her.
for the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, I don't know her, but the Aces are pretty good. I think.
How many times has Caitlin Clark been knocked down? That's all I see in the WNBA news.
So you get that.
They're feeding it to me, Dominic.
That's the people you follow, man. They just like, yes, they're being racist against her. They're being racist against this white woman. No, this white girl. No, they call it girl. Like girl. Yep, that's how it go. And it's like, I mean, I don't watch WNBA enough to know that if that's really a problem. And if she is getting knocked down, that's when her player is supposed to go step in. I mean, that's how they do in the NBA. And people say, like, on the NBA, they don't do that. And somebody's like, they do that all the fucking time. What are you talking about? So I was like, I was like, say they don't go attack. Yes, they do. But thing is, but also it isn't. When it does happen, the team comes and like so it can't happen really all the time because if it does happen, people just come out and like, hey man, stop that. Now, if Kenny Clark, if the players keep coming out for it, I think it will be a problem. They'll make it a problem.
Yeah,
like it'll be like, hey, stop this or something like that. And I think the league will protect her. I just think I don't know because I'm seeing other girls get hit too. Now, I'm not saying who hit the most, because like I said, I don't watch this game, so maybe sure. She is. And if it is...
Also, if she's like one of the top players, allegedly, right? Like, wouldn't it make sense that she would get the most?
And but also, like, what we understand is that, like, listen, in sports, if you want to go by what the men's do, the top players are protected. Like, as in that their own team will come out and do it. Because I've seen that with LeBron... I've seen that with Jordan. I've seen that with Kobe. I've seen like they be coming out hard. Like when somebody comes out, they come out hard all around them.
Right.
And that's what it's supposed to be. And that's what you're supposed to do. Look, it's competitiveness, man. This is like people get really rowdy in these type of sports. I mean, it's not that it's violent. It's just like you get real competitive, man. Like you want to be the best, and people they do things and stuff like that, man. You just have to be ready for it. I mean, as long as they ain't punching you and doing something, and the refs catch it, they catch it, and then they see the recordings. They'll get recordings to see stuff. So listen, the league play like this. The league don't want her to be hurt. Right. So obviously they're not going to let it keep happening if it really is outrageous. If it's really outrageous, the league would have did something because they need her. they need this girl. So that's why I'm not really like, is that really a problem? We'll see. Like, yeah, I feel like they will fix it if it was like a super problem. All right. So what else came out then?
All right, the best platformer ever, Dominic, as we talked about earlier, Arrow the Acrobat 2. That's now out on Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox
crazy.
One, and Xbox Series X.
They are literally listened to us from years ago when we said just bring out all the old platformers. And we were just joking.
Except we didn't intend games for them to do it like piecemeal, one at a time for like $15 a piece.
No, we didn't. And also, I didn't think they really were going to do it because I was just joking about some of them. I was just talking about the good ones.
I was going to say, also remember how we talked about like bringing anything and everything? And this is what this feels like. Like the only reason I played the first Arrow the Acrobat is because it was a Super Nintendo game that I found at a flea market for like $5 or something like that. And I was like, I'm getting this. A lot.
Yeah, in magazines, I used to see it advertised a lot. I didn't even know there was a part 2, honestly.
I didn't either.
Yeah. But I never played. Yeah, I just never played it. But I mean, I'm sure as a kid I would find some way to like it because I used to like anything. Even
it was
stuff
fine. Yeah, it was fine. I didn't make it past like level 3. I'm sure. All right, Dominic, and then the real platformer to talk about, which we already did. Astro Bot is now out.
Boy saying, what's the platform that's coming out for Nintendo this year? After Zelda, is there anything? I mean, after the Zelda game, does Nintendo have a game?
They don't have platformers. They've got the Mario and Luigi game.
Yeah, that's right.
That RPG game.
They don't have a platform. Did they have a platformer for earlier this year?
I'm trying to think. I don't recall.
Princess Peach? Was Princess Peach this year?
Yeah, it was this year. I don't know if I would consider that like a platformer though, because there's like light platforming, but it's almost like a variety game, I guess I would call it. Oh, really? Yeah.
Wasn't the first one a platformer though?
The like DS one? Yeah, that was more focused on the actual platforming, and you use like the emotions as like different powers effectively, but like this one, it's just like, I don't want to say a mini game collection because I feel like that's a little degrading.
It's a Barbie game.
It's not like a mini game. Well, like you say that, but like maybe you're not entirely wrong, because I always felt like those were what those games kind of were. Like they were grab bags of like different things.
Yeah,
and maybe that was just me not having actually played those.
Barbie, like mall shopping spree.
But like now that you mention it, it doesn't feel like it's not
Barbie
an apt description.
Veterinarian or something like that.
Because it's like, oh, I'm a vet, so like occasionally I have to,
Even though you could have made one fucking game like The Sims with Barbie, and you could have just done a really great game, but you made these little games.
Yeah,
to get these
but like there's definitely platforming elements to that Peach game, but there's also like, okay, now you're attached to this string and you're decorating a cake, and here you're like trying not to burn these cookies or something like this.
Oh my god, that is.
I mean, there's also like here she is as a swashbuckler and a ninja. But
oh, okay.
Like,
all right. But nope. The men be like, nope. They tell the daughters, keep playing the kitchen game. You gotta learn how to.
Oh man,
how to cook.
Not to the daughters,
especially when mommy goes. When mommy's not around, I need
when
you to
mommy
do it.
leaves me because I've been beating her or something.
Yeah.
Jesus, man, this is what gamers have grown up to be, Dominic. Still the same
people
abusive
don't cook anymore,
parents.
Daniel, because they stopped giving them easy bake ovens.
Is that what it is? Got it.
Yeah. And why we don't know how to make bugs anymore? Because we can't do creepy crawlers.
Yep. Creepy crawlers.
Oh man, I remember I had that. I had a creepy crawler thing. And I was making Spider-Man.
Nice.
And stuff.
Yeah, the license one. Now we're talking.
I wanted the ones that was like gummies. I really wanted that one where you could eat them.
Yeah, that was.
So
cool.
I just ate the ones that you weren't supposed to eat.
No.
They said non-toxic. Dang.
I've still just got spots in my room where I throw them up on the ceilings. Good times. All right, Dominic. Yeah, Astro Bot came out. We mentioned that. We talked a lot about that. So I'm sure we'll talk more about it in the future episodes. So those are our new releases. You got anything else for the people this week, Dominic?
No, man. I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always. You can find us on Twitter, Dominic Z. DStalworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and any other place you can find us. Until next time, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.